Perfect. Perfect. The reason why I like the new homeowner list is this. You're hitting them with an icebreaker off the top of the conversation. You're telling them, congratulations on your new home. It's beautiful. They drop their guards. They're excited about their new home. Not only that, they're expecting people to visit them, to offer them internet, to offer them cable, to offer them phone service, to offer them a bunch of different things. Their hands are more down, right? And then when you visit them, you know, the AT&T guy already visited them, right? The cable guy and the internet guy already visited them. They know that that's the case. So when you hit them with the congratulations on your new home, it's beautiful, their guards are dropped down. I personally have done door knocking for solar and for ADT, and I've done the new homeowner list. Personally, I like the new homeowner list more. Now, granted, and by the way, let me tell you when I did this. This is super important for you to make a note of. I got started with Power in April, late March, early April, 2020. What happened 2 weeks before April 2020? COVID, the pandemic, the shutdown, the scare. The whole world was scared and locked in their house, weren't they?
Yep.
And ADT, as a matter of fact, told us back then, you cannot go door knock. You could only get business from referrals. Think about that. Our livelihood was going out and meeting people. They said, no more of that for the time being, only referrals. The first thing I asked when I talked to Power, I said, let me ask you guys something. Do you guys have a problem with us going to canvassing, door knocking, or whatever the case may be? They said, we don't have a problem with that. I said, all right, bet. So April 2020, I was knocking on people's houses when COVID was, out there.
You're the spreader.
No.
And everyone was home, so it's perfect.
I'm not, you know what? I'm not the spreader. I'm the guy that exposed the truth that we all know now that it was bullshit. That's who I am. I'm the guy that said, this is all bullshit. COVID exists. Don't get me wrong. I'm not unsensitive to it, but it wasn't what they said that it was, right? So I'm gonna say, hey, listen, I'm gonna keep living my life. And I was basically a Florida guy in California, right? That's what I was. So I started visiting new homeowners, and guess what? We helped a lot of homeowners. And in 11 weeks with what I'm gonna share with you guys today, I got to mentor in the company, and I built the team at the same time. Ever since then, roughly July 2020, I never had to look for a lead ever again. That's one of the beautiful things about Power, that you have the ability to build there's a light at the end of the tunnel. In a traditional solar company, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, hey, you're going to be chasing leads. I tell people, how long have you been door knocking from other solar companies? Sometimes I get people say 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 9 years. I'm like, you're going to be D2D, door to door. So I say, you're going to be D2D to the day you're DEAD, right? To the day you're dead. You're always going to be chasing leads. We have a better way. Everybody say, we have a better way.
Better way.
So we're going to get started. 1 second here. So before we get started, I want us to go through these affirmations that you guys see on the screen here, because we're going to get the energy up. And one of the things I'm going to ask from you guys is this. I'm going to ask, me and Danny are going to ask for some questions from time to time, right? And then you guys are going to respond to those questions. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And we're going to have some high energy. Everybody say high energy.
High energy.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to say the affirmation, and then I want you guys to repeat after me. So number 1, I am a powerful solar professional.
I am a powerful solar professional.
I do business morally and ethically.
I do business morally and ethically.
I am successful, intelligent, and confident.
I am successful, intelligent, and confident.
I am making a positive impact in the world and in the lives of others.
I am making a positive impact in the world.
I missed one, but we're going to go back. It's all right. I do not depend on luck or unrealistic possibilities.
I do not depend on luck or unrealistic possibilities.
I radiate with confidence and people feel that.
I radiate with confidence and people feel that.
I am building a renewable energy empire.
I am building a renewable energy empire.
Therefore, money comes easily and frequently and in increasing quantities.
Therefore, money comes easily and frequently.
All right, give yourself a round of applause. How many of you guys want these things to be true in your life? By show of hands. Absolutely. How about that last one? Money comes easily and frequently and in increasing quantities. You know, the book The Science of Getting Rich talks about, it says, when you figure this out and you get this right, money will come in so fast and so furious, you'll wonder where it's been hiding all this time. And that is true, man. Let me tell you, I've experienced that in my life in this particular company, and I've experienced it in my life a few times. And once you figure out how to make money, once you figure out this profession, because this is a profession, there's a lot of money in this business by doing something very noble. We're helping homeowners in a lot of ways. So anyways, let's get started with that. So now that we've got that out of the way, now I can't help but say, it's so interesting how, as we're saying the affirmations, people that are probably outside or in an office next door, they might think, man, there's probably a cult going on over there. Those guys are in the cult. You see, everybody's repeating what that guy's saying. All right. So here's the deal. Here's some fundamentals, okay, to get this going. Number one is I wrote down my goals. You want to write that down. I wrote down my goals. I was very intentional about what I wanted to happen. There's a saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Okay, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So you want to write down your goals. I wrote down my goals like this. I am so happy and grateful now that I fill in the blank. I'm so happy and grateful now that because you've got the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind, okay, will battle you. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the truth and the lie. It will believe whatever it is that you tell it. So it's so important. What are you saying to yourself? What are you speaking of yourself? Right? What do you say? And by the way, I definitely recommend, which I see a lot of people doing, write down the notes. It's much more powerful than taking a picture of it. Most people take a picture of the notes. They never look at the notes ever again. But when you're writing them down, you're engraving it in your subconscious mind. So yes, I'm old school like that. I take down notes, man. So you want to write down your goals. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm also speaking it in the present as if it already happened. I remember when I was new and no solar experience, never sold a deal. April 2020, May 2020, I sold my first deal. I think it was in May. In May is when I sold my first deal. And I remember driving with my wife. My wife's back there too. And I remember driving with her around cities and seeing solar panels everywhere. And I said, one day I'm going to drive through a bunch of cities, random cities, and I'm going to see, oh, I haven't installed in this city. I haven't installed around the corner. Now I've got almost 260 installs. Since I started, 260 sales, not installs, sales, right? So that stuff definitely comes to pass. I declared it to the world. So I wrote down my goals. I declared them to the world. I said, here's what I'm going to do. I identified the price that needed to be paid. What is the price that needs to be paid? I'm telling you how I got to mentoring in 11 weeks. The biggest part of it is a new homeowner list, but this is what I did. So you have to identify what price must I pay. Let's say you have a 9-to-5 job right now. Let's say you work 9 to 5, right? Jim Rohn says you want to work 9 to 5 on your job and you want to work 5 to 9 on your business. Does that make sense? 9 to 5 your job, 5 to 9 on your business. And then I recommend you add a weekend in there. Not forever. This doesn't mean you're gonna do it forever. This is for a certain amount of time, right? So what is the price that needs to get paid? Maybe you got to get something up. For me, a long time ago, I used to like playing poker a lot. I had to give up playing poker. I had to give up spending so much time with at the time, well, we were married back then, but even before I started with Power, my wife was my girlfriend back then, right? And I had to stop spending so much time because I had to put in the work. And I told her, this is not going to be forever, right? So identify what price needs to be paid and then get busy paying that price. So let's keep it moving. So first thing that I did, I'm gonna go through this part fast. I made a list of 200 people and I attacked the list. Every time I do a training, you're gonna always hear me go through the fundamentals. You'll be surprised how many people tell me, JC, I don't have the results that I want, or something along those lines. Then I realized they haven't even done the fundamentals. And I've told them a million times, very first thing you should do after you write down your whys and your goals and what you're willing to give up. Next thing is you don't be a secret agent. If you're new to solar today, you're a secret agent because nobody knows you're solar. Can we agree? Yeah. But then it comes to a point where you start to let people know, hey man, I'm in the solar industry. So I got a script that I'm going to share with you guys. So I did my list of at least 200 people. And I've got a script for you that you're not even selling. You're not even pitching. You're informing. You know that there's some solar pros in Power that have done solar for 5 years and some of their cousins don't know that they're solar pros. That's ridiculous. Because here's how they justify it. Oh, I got business anyways. I'm already, got it going. Let me tell you something. You do not want your neighbor 2 houses down that you go to a barbecue sometimes to all of a sudden see some other install company show up and install their panels on them because you were a secret agent. You got to make a list of everybody and call them. So here's a script. It's a very simple script. Let me see if I got it here so you guys can read it. If not, I'll tell you what it is. Okay, here, and I'm going to go back, but I'm going to give you guys a script here. It's simple. After I give the person a call, let's say I give David a call. David, how's it going? How are you and the baby?
Great.
How's your wife? You know, how's your daughter? Right? Good. Awesome. Listen, and let's say he's a business guy, which he is. One of my favorite lines with business people is this. David, by the way, do you have 2 minutes for a business call? David, by the way, do you have 2 minutes for a business call? If it's a business person, they appreciate you being upfront with them, asking them for 2 minutes for a business call. Especially if you haven't talked to them in a long time, the business guy is thinking, bro, you don't care how I'm doing. I know why you're calling. You call me when it's time to do some business or when you understand what I'm saying? So a business person, if you're just upfront with it about it, say, hey, by the way, do you have a couple of minutes for a business call? I got 2 minutes. What's up, brother? Does that make sense? Anyways, whatever your buildup is, then here's what I say. I wanted to give you a call because I want to let you know that I actually just got started in the solar industry and I'm super excited about this. And this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 10 to 20 years. So that you say what you got to say, and there's 2 bullet points. I wanted to give you a call to let you know that I just got started in solar industry. Check this out. You don't have to say it word for word. You could make it your own way. You could say, I just started my solar career. You could say, I just launched my solar business. But make it your own, right? I'm giving you the framework and the 2 bullet points. I'm very excited about this, and this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 10 to 20 years. Anyways, man, I just want to let you know in case you know of anybody who either 2 more bullet points. Anyways, man, I just want to let you know that way in case you either know of anybody who, you know, has questions about solar or even anybody that may be interested in going solar, I would appreciate if you'd keep me in mind, bro. See, you're not pitching, you're informing. There's no way that you cannot contact 100, 200 people with that and not get some people that know somebody's considering solar or they themselves. And what I'm looking for is this. After I said, I'd appreciate if you keep me in mind, I'm looking for anything positive, anything positive. Anything that they say that's positive is my open door. They're cracking the door open for me to make them an ambassador. They say anything positive. By the way, David, my company has an ambassador program. They'll actually pay you $1,000 for anybody that you refer us that decides to go solar, by the way. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that you're, you know, now here's the deal. Some people may say, cool, I'll keep you in mind. And there's no money involved. I'll keep you in mind and that's whatever. But when they know that there's $1,000 between keeping you in mind, they will really keep you in mind. Does that make sense? Yeah. And here's a goal. And a lot of people take this lightly. The goal is 50, even if you're part-time, 50 ambassadors within your first year. You should have 50 ambassadors within your first year. And here's the deal. Anybody can do that, even if you're part-time, because an ambassador is free. You can send somebody your ambassador link. They sign up. They pay nothing. There's no credit card information required. You think that after a year, you get 50 ambassadors, you're not going to get some business? Doggone right you are. Watch this. What if between these 50 ambassadors over the course of a whole year, you get 7 deals? Yeah, it's $40-some thousand. If you mentored all those deals, it's $21,000. It's like $25,000 if you mentored all those deals with somebody else. An extra $25,000. Why? Because you planted the seeds without a pitch, with a script that's to inform them that you are a solar agent now. Does that make sense? So anyways, that was the script that I went through. So let me go back to these bullet points here. So I made my list and attacked the list. I did the homeowner list, which I'm going to trade on today. I went 4 to 5 days per week minimum, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. during the week, and Saturdays or Sundays. I would always go on a weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. I work from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm telling you what my schedule was. Okay. Here was the tools that I used. I got a polo shirt. I got business cards and flyers. and I downloaded the app Road Warrior. It says Road Runner, it's not Road Runner, it's Road Warrior. The app is Road Warrior, and I'm going to tell you why the app is so important. And there's more than one app that does that. This is the app that I found that worked best for me. Okay, it's an optimization app. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you pick a couple of cities. So let's say, for example, we got Downey, we've got Norwalk, we've got Pico Rivera, we've got Downey and Bellflower, right? Let's say these are the cities that I select. The cool thing is this, there's gonna be a house here, there's gonna be houses everywhere, right? The goal is you wanna put 50 addresses at least. I recommend 100. But the addresses are everywhere. And I'm gonna show you where to get this list for free. How many of you guys wanna get the list of homeowners for free? I'm gonna show you how to get it for free. Anybody has access to it, super easy. This made me thousands and thousands of dollars as a rookie. And again, here's the tools. Polo shirt. Do you need a polo shirt? No, you don't need a polo shirt. Just got to look presentable. But I recommend you get a polo shirt or a nice shirt that has a logo on it. Makes you look more legit, right? But do you need that? You actually don't need it. Business cards, flyers, and the app. You could do this with none of it, but you look more legit if you have a business card or a flyer, of course, right? Here's why the app is important. Let's say you live here and you have one of the homes out here in Bellflower. You don't want to go all the way across town. And then the next one that you put on the list is over here. Even if you're in the same city, you don't want to start here, go across the city, go back over here, go across the city, go back over here. That'd be silly. So what the app does is that you enter all of these addresses and you hit optimize. Hold on one second. What's up, brother? Yeah, park in the back and then go up the elevator to the second floor. Suite 212. Yes, the medical thing. Yeah, yeah. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna send somebody down there to get you. Okay, yeah, just go to the elevator. Okay. All right, good news is Danny's here. So here's the deal. What this app does is that it optimizes a route. So let's say you put your start address. Let's say that start address is your home, and then the ending address is your home as well. So let's say this is your home. Let's go over here. Let's say this is your home up here, and that's where you want to finish. It'll optimize a route to go to the closest houses in an order where the last house would be the one closest to your end location. So it optimizes a route for you. Does that make sense? And then through the app, you could put notes like NA, not available, or NH, not home, or NI, not interested. So when I go the next day, I rework the list. Oh, this house, nobody was home. I'm going to visit it again. Then, okay, nobody was home there. I put NA again. I go to through that app, you click on the next one, it opens up your GPS and it takes you to the next one. So let's say you see that the next address says NI, not interested. You skip it. You go to the next one. Does that make sense? So that's the way that the app works. It's a phenomenal app. So here's the deal. Okay. So here's the script. What's up, brother? So here's the script. When I went and I visited these new homeowners, it was very simple. I knew nothing. I asked Jonathan Bernasso, I asked some of the team, I said, hey, does anybody have a training? By the way, that looks like a bear. Unintentionally, it looks like a bear. So here's the deal. That's because we're in a bear market right now. You guys notice that? So what happened is I talked to Jonathan Bernasso and said, hey, is there anybody that has a training on the new homeowner list? I was used to doing new homeowner list with the ADT business. And, is there anybody that has such a thing? He says, no, there isn't. I said, fine, I'm going to just create my own script, my own system, and I'm going to figure this thing out. That's what I did. So there's a script I came up with. Nothing fancy. It's very simple. I knock on the person's door. When they answer the door, I say, how's it going? My name is JC. I just want to drop this off for you. And I've got my flyer for them, right? So then I reach out and give it to them. When they take the flyer, I say, by the way, congratulations on your new home. It's beautiful. What are they going to say? Say thank you, right? Thank you. After that, I say, I just want to introduce myself because I'm the solar specialist in the area and I help a lot of people in this area go solar. By the way, have you guys ever considered solar? That was literally all I said. And I played the numbers. One thing that I learned as a sales professional is that amateurs convince and professionals what? Sort. Amateurs convince and professionals sort. Tell me yes or tell me no, but tell me fast because I got to go. I got to visit, let's say with these, my goal was to visit 30 to 40 homes during the week. 30 to 40 homes. That was my goal. So if you're one of those homes, I just want to know if you have any interest or if you don't. Because if you don't, I gotta go. My goal is 30 homes today. I know that if I do 30 homes today, 30 homes tomorrow, and like 50 or 60 homes on Saturday or Sunday, if I go through these numbers, I'm gonna find some people that are gonna give me some utility bills. I'm gonna find some people that say, yes, I'm interested. Yes, we've talked about it. Then I'm gonna engage them. Does that make sense? If they tell me I'm not interested, no, thank you. What do you guys think I did there? Can anybody tell me what
Affiliate.
Yeah, affiliate.
Yeah.
Hey, no problem. Here's my flyer. By the way, our company offers a $1,000 referral fee. If you ever know of anybody maybe interested in going solar, our company will send you $1,000. Okay. And they already have my flyer. I literally had a guy say, by the way, can I refer myself? He just told me no. But the $1,000 is hey, what can I refer myself? And I make it seem like it's more complicated than it is. I say, you know what? I can figure out a way. What we'll do is we'll have, a family member, maybe your significant other, right? We'll say that they referred you, and I can make that work for you. Guys, okay. Well, if that's the case, yeah, I guess. What do you need, a bill? I said that's exactly right. All I need is a bill, man. Let's get it going. And guess what? It happened, right? I remember even in December, I started April 2020. By December, I was already a mentor. December, I had a guy that I pitched, said no, but he had a flyer that I left him. Because recruiting and selling very often is about timing. Timing. Let's say even recruiting, let's say I talk to somebody about the power opportunity. They tell me no. But let's say they just got a bump in pay. They got a promotion. They're excited. They're on cloud 9. 3 months into it, that job isn't what they turned out to be. They're asking for too many hours, too many responsibilities. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. All of a sudden, he may not be interested the first time, but 3 months later, he all of a sudden is interested. Same thing with selling. So that guy, when I pitched him back in like June, wasn't interested. In July, messages me, says, JC, you mentioned to me that you could do solar and roof too. I say, yeah, because he was thinking of paying the roof on his own, but it was $27,000. So he couldn't come up with the $27,000. He tells me this. He says, I need the whole new roof, and my quotes have been high. If you can give me a quote that makes sense with solar plus roof, I'll give you my business. I said, no problem. I sold him a $27,000 roof plus solar, 14 kilowatt system. The only thing is he didn't qualify for all 27,000. So he qualified for 25. I said, Tom, you're going to have to come up with $2,000 out of pocket. He says, not a problem. I was thinking of paying the whole thing anyway. So 2 G's, no problem. So we financed 25,000 of the roof. He had to put 2 G's out of pocket, right? And we got him a 14 kilowatt system, made about $10,000 on that deal. I was already not door knocking, not visiting new homeowners, but that came from that. The point is, the script isn't that hard. See, there's a lot of people that are a lot better than me, like Danny, for example, at door knocking. One thing that I learned is this: if you master the mundane and you have a system that works and you're consistent and persistent over an extended period of time, that will lead for success. I mean, in solar, you could stumble across a sale. You could be an absolute dud and stumble across sales. I tell people, if you can't close a solar deal, you can't close a window. Right? Seriously. This isn't a sales presentation, it's an IQ test. That's how solar's been. I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but most people have too many starts and stops. They're not persistent, right? And so anyways, I just wanted to share this. That is my script. This training is more in detail in my training academy. Who doesn't know the website for my training academy? It's free. Okay, good. I think all of you guys know. Great. So teamfreedomtraining.net. You could go, for those of you, I think I have a feeling there's people that don't know, but you don't want to raise your hand. So I'm gonna tell you anyways. I know, right? How many of you guys not gonna raise your hand no matter what I say? I almost got you guys. See a couple of you, oh shit, he got me, man. It's good, man. He got me, dude. So here's the deal. teamfreedomtraining.net. In there, the new homeowner training list is an hour-long training. I get into details. Right now, I just needed to cover a little bit of a gap before the man of the hour is here, right? So the gentleman I'm going to bring up now is an absolute legend. When it comes to the solar industry, to the door-to-door sales, just to sales in general, This guy is known as one of the top trainers in America by far. And in my opinion, one of the top trainers in the world. This guy's incredible. He's one of the founders of Door to Door, Knockstar University. And also just in the solar industry, this guy's a rock star. People know he's highly sought after. So he's going to come and do, this is a door-to-door boot camp. This guy's an expert. He's made millions of dollars in door-to-door sales. Now he makes millions of dollars training people on door-to-door sales. So you guys ready to hear from this guy?
Yeah.
Awesome. Help me bring up Mr. Danny Pessy.
Wow, pressure's on now. Jeez Louise. So sorry guys, I'm a little bit late. I had an emergency come up this morning. I've got a big gig coming up next weekend, and I had some people that I entrusted to do stuff and they didn't get it done. By a raise of hands, who's ever been in that situation? Oh my Lord. Do it yourself. Dude, and that's the thing. It's so frustrating. Thing is, you know, I'm talking to them. I'm like, guys, I don't pay to get effort. You pay to get the results. And so that was the frustrating part, was I'm trying to get it to them. Like, dude, when I give you a task, I don't care that you emailed to the people and you're waiting for them. Complete the task, get it finished. So it was very, very frustrating. And so that's part of the thing I love about the sales side of these things. And this is the easy thing. Once I transitioned from complete commission only to running a business, you start paying people salaries and you start realizing they spend more time figuring out how to not work than they spend more time figuring out how to work. And I'm like, bro, the same amount of time you were spending being busy, you could have gone and just done what I asked you to do instead of trying to find shortcuts. So that's what I love about this job. I've done this for my whole life. I got out of high school and started door knocking. So this is my only real job I had. I was a model without probably a bitch before that. And clearly that didn't work out so well. So yeah, I didn't have what it takes. So yeah, so that was the thing. And then I was doing theater, so improv comedy down in Hollywood for a company called Improv Olympics, and then Comedy Sports. So those were professional theater troupes that I was performing with, and I was doing that full time and sales part time. And I was like, dude, I want to be a comedian one day. Take a guess on how much comedians make on average per year. 60, I heard like 40,000, 20, 5,000, 18,000 a year. Dude. So I was like, bruh, my first year I worked summers only, going in summer school. At a summer school, I went and did a job. So I went out knocking. I moved to Seattle, Washington, lived in a hotel room with 5 people. And we went out and knocked 6 days a week, 8 hours a day in Seattle, Washington, on Lake Washington. Who knows the most famous person who lives on Lake Washington? Bill Gates. So I was knocking on this neighborhood, first 18-year-old kid, never done sales before, grew up with a golden spoon in my mouth, getting on these doors knocking, people just slamming me left and right. I'm like, damn, dude, these people are tough. And I'm like, I remember just this guy, eventually I was so tired of getting rejected. Like, if you think people are hard here, imagine knocking in Seattle. Like, super, super mean people. Why do you think they're so mean in Seattle?
They have money.
Well, they have money, and there's a lot of rain, so the weather's so bad there, right? This weather's terrible in Seattle. So these people would come out, what the do you want? Literally screaming at me, like, you piece of effing shit, what are you bothering me for? I'm like, God damn, dude. What did I do? So these people are so effing mean. And one day I just, I was like, hey man, I'm selling, but dude, everybody's been shitting on me today. I just, I need someone to be nice to me. And some guy was like, cool, man. I'm like, thank you, man. This has been so hard. Start to chat a little bit. And I'm like, bro, what the hell is that thing over there? We're overlooking Lake Washington. So imagine this big dip, right? I'm over here. I'm like, what is that over there? And I'm like, there's like these 2 boats with security guards on them. I'm like, that's Bill Gates's house. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's a mountain. And they're like, yeah, no, the whole house is built into the side of a mountain. It's like an $80 million enclave that he has built into his house. And there's a moat that he has 2 security guards there. So when he goes out on his boat on Lake Washington, he can go and do it. I'm like, bro, what the hell am I doing knocking in this neighborhood? Like, and that's what the guy said. Like, bro, you're in the richest part of town. And I was like, holy, this is brutal, because these guys were short. They didn't care what I was selling. You know, so I was getting rejected left and right. And it was tough, because every day I'd go home crying like, holy shit, this is tough. I want to give it up. I had my 5 best friends with me, right? And so we all moved up to Washington. The first week, 3 of them quit. One of my good friends, Nick, I won't say his last name, but he got rejected so hard. Someone opened the door and said, are you selling something? He said, yeah, fuck you. Shut the door in his face. My buddy was so pissed. He literally pissed on the guy's doorstep. Straight up. Oh yeah, you want to be an asshole? Boom, straight up. Just pissed on his doorstep. Called his mom, flew home. He's like, I'm done with this. I hate this. I'm fucking done with it. Then my other good friend, me and him go up, my best friend at the time, me and him go up. He's a bodybuilder, buff, great with the ladies, handsome as all get out. And I'm like, dude, this guy's going to crush it. This guy is a natural born gift to gab. He talked women into doing all sorts of things. I'm like, bro, you can do that. You're going to kill it on the doors. So we both start working next to each other, and we start going after it over and over and over again. And then, 2 days into it, he texts me, he's like, hey, bro, let's go get some lunch. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go get lunch. We take a break. We shouldn't have done it. We're supposed to stay, work all the hours. But I'm like, all right, let's go get some food. We go to this restaurant. He starts talking to me. He's like, yeah, dude, man, I just miss my girlfriend so much. This is tough. I wasn't expecting this. And, I just miss her so much. I want to get back to her. And I'm like, okay. What are you saying here? He's like, yeah, bro, I think I'm just going to go back and get with my girlfriend. I'm like, damn, so you're going to quit? He's like, yeah, dude, I'm just going to go home. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, bro, you've been doing this for 48 hours. He's like, yes. I'm like, bro, I'm done. I'm done with it, dude. I'm done. And so he goes home, and then literally he goes back to his area. It's 8 o'clock. Our car troop driver comes to pick us up. He goes back to get picked up. I walk down the hill because I didn't want to be with him. You get in trouble, you get fined. Meet up with people and knock. Like, we were strict. If you got out of your area and you were caught, you'd have to pay $100 fine. We had technicians driving around to make sure your guys didn't leave their area. So I was brought up super strict. I go into that, but that's a story for another time. So it's like, if you left your area, you went to Mickey D's or $800 fine. And we had people literally driving around, keeping an eye on us, making sure we worked. Wow. So like, you see the technicians go and we're in the wrong area. Me and my buddy would jump into bushes and hide and stuff like that, so they couldn't see us. So it was really, really crazy. But so I'm walking down this hill to get picked up. I go into a Wendy's and I'm like, damn, dude, my 3 buddies just left. Now my best friend, and I just lose it. I start freaking crying, man. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I can do this. My dad runs a successful company. I don't really need any money. Why do I want to do this? And then I call my dad. I'm like, dude, I want to give up. He's like, bro, why? Like, you're already there. It's only a couple months. Just do it. What's the worst that can happen? You come back, you can run the company, you can have my business. It's cool. But dude, just go try this, figure it out. I'll send you a jacket. I had no money at the time. I was literally eating ramen the first couple of days. And so basically eating ramen with eggs, add a little extra sauce on there, So it was really, really brutal for me. And at that point, I'm like, you know what, dude, I'm going to stick this out for a couple months. I won't knock doors for the rest of my life. I'm going to be a comedian, but I want to learn this. And I just don't want to give up. I don't want to look like an idiot quitting. And so my buddy left, and I made that decision that night when I got picked up. I was sitting in the freaking bathroom at Wendy's. I was soaking wet because I forgot to tell you, I was walking down, the rain just started pouring in Seattle. I was soaking wet. So I was sitting in the bathroom, like drenched, and they have an air conditioning little press the thing, the air comes out to dry your hands. So it's a public bathroom. So I'm in there getting my clothes all dried off, and people are coming in and out. I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I put my foot on the door, lock it, and then I started blowing the air dryer. I felt like I was in The Pursuit of Happiness, like shooting the door closed. And I'm sitting there crying, drying off my underwear and thing. So it was brutal. And I was like, first couple of days of knocking doors, and I'm like, damn, dog, I'm going to have to figure this out. And so I did. And then I stuck to it. And I made that commitment that night that whenever shit gets tough, I'm going to continue to push through it even when stuff gets hard. Now, fast forward 16 years from now, that was a little kid. Now I'm grown up. I'm 33 now. Okay. Who wants to guess where the people that gave up ended up in life?
Wendy's.
Very funny. Tough crowd. So it's so crazy the decisions that you make when you get faced with adversity parallel you into different trajectories of your life. A guy, remember, better looking than me, more buff, great with the ladies. Where he's at with his life versus where I'm at with my life is completely different. And we both had the same exact opportunity. And that's what I want to talk to you guys today is it's just the decisions that you make design your destiny. And when shit gets tough, if you get into a habit of giving up and quitting and going trying something new, those habits will get ingrained. So whenever adversity comes up, you're going to stop, take a step back and try to work it. And so those guys are currently living with their families, still working 9-to-5 jobs and never have got ahead in life. In me, already years out, I own a couple properties, got great cash flow, really setting myself up financially. And it's the thing is the choices I made at the beginning when shit got tough has lasted me now this great lessons that I can continue to run my business and my life on forever. So I've literally been commission only my entire life. If I didn't sell, I didn't eat. So when you get in that position, you either get up or you get out. You either get up or you get out. And what's cool is this job really teaches you that if you don't go out and sell and get better, you're shit out of luck. If you don't take this information, apply it and learn it, you're going to end up in the same spot as my buddies. And it's crazy because at the beginning, you don't know where people's lives are going to end up. And now 16 years removed, I see it and it's like, bro, I'm so glad I did that because now the impact that they have on the world versus what I have, now I get to teach thousands of people. That's just on conference a month ago with 4,000 people and I was teaching them stuff. And it's like, I say that because if I wouldn't have made the hard choices now, I can't make people's lives better in general. You know, so that's why I transitioned into consulting. I still sell solar, guys. I make way more money selling solar than I do this coaching. This is a passion project for me. So like I have a good group of guys that I still work with for my years of managing teams. And then I also have the coaching business. And so that's my whole thing is I love this job and I just want to give back. And that's my big purpose on this planet. Because once you start making a ton of money, then it starts getting weird, right? It's like, okay, well, does this impact feel good anymore? Like I was a top rep every year in my company. And all of my little divisions that I was a part of, I was working a division for a long time, always a top rep. Eventually that shit gets boring. And you're like, okay, I've got money. Like I haven't made an impact with anybody else's life. It's all for me. Cool. There comes a point where then you can start passing it on. So that's where the chapter I'm at in my life now is. Now I want to teach people to do it. I'm still out there grinding too as well. Like I work freaking super hard. This morning, if you guys would have seen what I went through, you'd have blown your heads off. I had an 8 a.m. call. I had slicks that I paid someone to fix. The slicks were completely wrong and spell checked, completely issued. I'm on there like still figuring out. So little problems, but just in general, the thing is I was able to learn a lot of stuff along the way that allowed me to push it. And so for you guys, I'm further along the path. You guys can all get there, but it starts with the decision when shit gets tough. You continue to push through it. And so, like I said, no matter where you're at in your career, make the decision now when shit gets tough, you don't give up. Because unfortunately, this solar train that we're on right now is going to be changing. And as you guys already see, NEM 3.0, guys, it's going to get harder and harder and harder for us to get to make deals. And of course, we're virtual and wherever, but we could sell. But unfortunately, it's going to get harder and harder for us because, guys, right now, we literally can go steal market share from a monopoly. You guys realize that's what the business we're in. We're stealing market share from a monopoly. And I don't know about you, but like I never had the opportunity to do that growing up. We quit. We got to get our skills and go out and crush. Solar is sold in the United States, guys, is the learn how to do this. It's easy to do the Zoom calls, which is a combination of both, but you got to have the skill set dialed in. The reason why people don't would say yes, would you knock $1 million doors a day? So the reason why we don't is because we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to show you guys the flow of how to knock doors and a flow to do a set. And that way you guys have a general idea. So for example, and the reason why it's so important to know your flow is when you first started driving and you got on the freeway, were you comfortable or no? You were scared, right? Now we all drove on the freeway here, didn't think anything of it. We're texting, making phone calls, sometimes doing both. So don't allocate that. Don't think that's a good idea. But like I said, you get better at it. So the thing is I want to show you guys the flow of how to knock doors effectively so that you have the blueprint so you're less nervous. If you knew exactly what the customer was going to say and you knew exactly what you were going to say, would you be nervous anymore about knocking on the doors? No, it then becomes a game. And that's what's so nice about door. Why I got good at it was because once you get used to the rejection, if you blow up the game, guess what's next door? Another game. So all this is a game, guys. This becomes fun. When you get the emotion out of it, it's literally a game, and you play each game with the customer. Boom, oh, I lost. Next one. I lost. Boom, ding ding, I win. Ding ding, I win. Ding ding, I win. And you sell, and you get more hyped, and then you all of a sudden turn those no's into yeses. So if you can get the emotion out of it and just play it like a freaking game, it becomes fun. Like you're not nervous anymore. But the thing is people don't push through that nervousness and that rejection to get to the point where it becomes a game. And then when you get really good at it, you start identifying yourself as a player. And then it's more about, hey, how do I dominate everybody and be the top rep in the company? And that's when it becomes really fun. Then you're not worried about them rejecting. You're like, hey, cool, I got to get to my next one. So it doesn't bug you anymore. The problem is everyone's in that first cycle. Once you push through it, oh my gosh, it's so much more fun. You're winning prizes. You're getting on, the trainings and doing that stuff. Perfect example. Do you guys all know Joel Gossett? In Florida, he's a big power rep out of Florida. So he's been on a lot of trainings, right? So he came to me for coaching. And what I told him was, I was like, Joel, dude, tell me about some of the things you've been successful in your life about. So he started telling me all these things. And he goes, and yeah, I was a minor league baseball player. I played collegiate baseball and I was going to the pros, and then I hurt myself. And I was like, interesting. Do you know how many of their lives trying to be professional baseball players? He's like, yeah, most people. I mean, raise your hands who played baseball growing up in here. Yeah, most of us did. So I know I did. I wanted to be a pro one day. And then I got older and I was like, baseball's boring as hell, so I don't want to do this. But he was all about it. People wanted to be baseball players. So the point of the story is he became one of the best in baseball in the world, right? So if you can have one aspect of your life where you're excellent at it, you're the best in the world, is it possible if you can do it in one category, you can do it in another category?
Yeah.
So that's the disc people have as well. It's not how it works. So if you're a great mother, if you're a great father, or you had a fantastic business at one point and crushed it, or you were the top sales reps, if you've done it before, you can do it again. It's these self-limiting beliefs that you have. So if you can start selling yourself that you can do it, and I told him that, he's like, shit, you're right. And then all of a sudden, he's like, bro, I'm a professional baseball player. And he started acting like he was amazing because he was in a different category. And then the next month, he was number 2 in all power. So it's crazy. Check this guy out. Now he's doing seminars. He's being invited to speak on stage. Why? Because all these things is just a little shift. And so when he started doing that, he applied what I taught him. And now we sold, I think, 20 or 30 deals in a month. You do the math on that, guys? Like, that's the thing. So that's why coaching is so important. That's why it's so invested. He dropped like $20,000 with me. He made that back in a week. So that's the thing is he believed in himself and he got new information. He applied it and got the results. So today I'm going to give you new information. If you apply it, you'll get the results. I'm living proof that this works. I'm not like some guy that sold insurance. I sold door to door my whole life. This is all I do. And so I want to show you guys a flow that I've found that works the best out of everybody that's ever done door to door. I know all the best guys. You take all these different techniques and you boil it all down to a flow. Okay, there's a lot of different ways people say things, but this is the fundamentals. You can apply what you say on top of this flow. If you follow this flow, you guys will be good. Okay, knocking, cold calling, phone, boom, doesn't matter. the flows and how to do it. Introduction. With door to door, you're dealing with a lot of people who don't want to talk to you. So you have to understand they're busy because they were watching Netflix and now they're back listening to you, trying to think of ways to get you off their doorstep. It's not personal. They don't know you guys. They will never know who the hell you are. The only way you can be emotionally upset is if you let them get emotionally upset. Now that we know, you're hyping me up. I like this one. So now that we know that's the situation, it's not personal. They're busy. Your job is to break their preoccupation. There's no rejection going on. They're not being mean. That's their defense mechanisms to get you to go get back and watch the Kardashians. So I know that. I know
The audio just kept cut out.
We can't hear.
Audio and video is cut out.
Does anyone have Casey's number?
that's why I wear it.
There he
So-
is.
I would never spend that much money to watch. It's ridiculous. But if you win it, it's cool. Nice flex, right? Okay, so solving a problem. Okay, so when you come to these doors, you have to tie into the same psychology that the news stations do. People that are at home, when you knock on their door, they're not busy because if they were, they'd be at the office. If they were busy, they wouldn't answer their door. Okay, so they're selling you that they are. They're not. Okay, so your job has to be such a good hook to break their preoccupation. Okay, so as long as you know that that's going to happen, you can prepare for it. It's overcoming the objection before it happens. You need to know that when you come to the door, knock on it, they're not going to want to talk to you. They're not going to be excited. Your job is to turn them around. I can't tell you how many times I've had people screaming and yelling at me at the end. They're making me dinner, giving me a big high five. Who's had that before? Raise your hand. And if you haven't, don't worry, the time's coming. Okay, you just do what I tell you. Okay, so these guys already have that reaction. At the end, understand that that's just a defense mechanism. It's nothing personal. They don't know you. They're just defense mechanisms because if they said yes to everything in the world, they'd have no money. Yeah, they'd be suckers. Or they'd be me on Etsy, okay? Just buying everything up. So, like I said, be prepared for that. It's a defense mechanism. Your job as the pro is to know the defense mechanism's coming and know how to overcome it in a professional way. Okay, can I borrow your iPad right there? Yeah. Okay, this is the try and true thing I used my whole career to break preoccupation and to get the customer to listen up. Easy hack. Okay, I'd always pay for a subscription to Sales Rabbit so I could have the client's name and phone number and address. So when I show up to the door, I have their information already. It's like $50 a month. It's cheap. So I would always pay for that, right? And so when I come to the door, it's also a great way to track notes and stuff like that. I've got a connection with Sales Rabbit. They give discounts. So if you guys want to hit me up, we'll talk about that after. But I would have the information of the client to the door. Why it's so important to know their name and their address and their phone number is because it gives me conviction and belief that I am not just a normal guy knocking on their door. It gives me a one-up approach to it. It gives me one up on top of them. So I feel in my mind, I'm supposed to be there. I pretend like I have an appointment with them. I'm in my mind. I'm like, bro, these guys have been waiting for me. I'm freaking late. I'm so sorry. So I come up to the door and I know they're going to come out swinging. So stand up with me real quick. I want you to play with me. So I'm going to knock on the door. This is how, what's going on? What's going on over here? All right. So this is how I do the intro every single time. Knock, knock.
Yeah, I'm waking up. I'm asleep.
Hey, good morning. You must be Mr. Johnson, right?
Yeah, how you know that?
Okay, cool. That's you're here on my list. This is 1473 Johnson Street, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'm at the right spot. The number on your account still 310-224-8763.
Yeah, man, you got me a little worried. How you know all that
Yeah.
about me?
Did you hear what happened?
No, what happened?
Okay, right there. Got him hooked. Give this man a round of applause. Same thing over and over and over again. Introduction, solve a problem. You're bringing up a problem in your initial approach. Remember, because people buy because of one or two reasons, guys. They're solving a problem. So I do my intro just like that. I name them by their name. I ask their address. If you don't have Sales Rabbit, you can just get their address from your maps and say, hey, this is 1487 Johnson Street, right? He's like, yeah. Like, bro, I know that. But he's like, okay, this guy must be here must be here for the right reason because he's looking for this address. Cool, man, you're hard to get a hold of. Where have you been all week, man? So then he's like, whoa, what's going on here? Broke his preoccupation. You think after I made that intro, he's worried about the Kardashians? He's like, what the hell's going on? Totally have him captivated. I'm sharp. I'm well dressed. Okay, clean shaven, professional. I smell decent. So the thing is I'm well kept, so he knows I'm there to be professional. Okay, I always look like a golfer. Golfers are the least threatening people when you're knocking on the doors. If you're wearing a suit, triggers buyer's remorse or bad buying experiences. So dress like a golfer. See the power polos, perfect. I'd wear that all day with a little lanyard with my picture on it. Okay, all day. Have a name badge. Just something about that gives credibility and validity to what you're doing. Okay. So you've got your intro, you're creating a problem. What are some problems that we're facing right now that solar is a solution to? Let's dive into it. I'm going to give you a couple of things. What was that?
High electric bill.
Bills. This is all ammo for you guys to use. There's no right or wrong. You just follow the correct flow. You can put in your own stuff, but structure it how this is. Use my 16 years of experience to structure your process like this. Say whatever the hell you want. Just use my structure and watch what starts to happen. Okay. What are the problems that we solve?
30% federal tax credit.
Okay. The problem is people don't know about the tax credit. So if this was bad, would the government pay you to do it? Interesting.
Bill keeps going up.
Okay, which falls under high bills.
Blackout.
Okay. Blackouts.
They get an understanding of what they're paying for.
Okay, so
Most of them don't know what they're paying on their electricity.
yeah, apathy. They don't care. They don't look into it. Like, dude, I just pay it. Guys, just so you know, most of the people, they don't look at their bills. It's auto pay. They haven't even realized the rates have gone up. Raise, yes, exactly. High bills. Time of use. High bills.
Then 2%.
NEM 3.0.
Delivery fees.
Yeah, fees.
Run the fees, right?
So guys, just so you understand the clients that you're dealing with, they don't care about any of this stuff. They don't know about it. They want to go back to their soccer game. They can't do anything about their electric bill, so they're apathetic towards it. They don't look at the fees. They don't care. Your job is to bring this up and make it a problem.
It's disturbing them, right?
It's disturbing them, correct, because it is a disturbance. But they ignore it because they can't do anything. Guys, if they didn't want to pay their electricity bill, what could they do?
Hit the lights and those.
Can they cancel their electricity bill? No. So what's the point of worrying about it? You can't. You just cross your fingers every month and hope you don't get wrecked. That's how most people are. So understand that. Your job is to create such a big problem where they have to start caring about it. If you don't create a big problem, they're going to continue on with their process. So that's why you have to hit them with one of these things. Now, selling is not telling. Documentation beats conversation. Documentation beats conversation. What do you think I mean by that?
Proof of the problem.
Proof of the problem. Some of you guys bought my slicks before. Basically, I hand documentation of what I'm saying. So any problem that you are building with the customer, print out a laminate that explains what the problem is. A news article or a graph. Print out something that you can hand them or show them on a Zoom. Okay? Because they don't know you, they don't trust you, but if they see the LA Times talking about their rates going up, shit, okay, this guy must know what time it is. Okay? So use the credibility of what they go eat every day is TV in the news station. So use that programming to your advantage. They've been brainwashed by the media. Why not tap into the same shit? So that's what I'm saying is hand them that article. Hey, did you hear about this? No, what's NEM 3.0? Oh, damn, Edison just wrote an article on this. Rates are going up. Shoot. You got my attention. Now you got your interest. So problems, documentation. Next, introduction. That's the first section, okay? Number 2, what you're doing. While you're learning this flow, say this out loud so you can paint the flow of your conversation to the client. So here's the intro, cool. So Mr. Customer, what we're doing is, what are we doing right now? What we're doing is introducing a new program that's going to help clients solve these problems. So what we're doing, number 3, why we're doing it. So what we're doing is there's a new program called the redirection program that if you qualify, we're going to redirect the payments that you're paying currently for your electricity from rental to ownership. Have you seen the people putting up the windmills in their house and solar panels? So what we're doing is if you're one of the homes that qualify, we'll put the panels up, and instead of you buying the power from the grid, you'll get the power produced on your roof that doesn't cost you anything. So that's what you're doing. Why we're doing it. Why we're doing it is because more and more people have been putting panels up on the roof. This is all stuff we're going to get from you guys in a second, but I'm giving you some of the big things that I use. So why we're doing it is because we've had a lot of people calling. So many, you've seen a lot of the articles on the news. You've seen the YouTube ads talking about solar. Okay. Why we're doing it is because if we hook you up with a deal, you're going to refer people to us. If you like something, you'll tell your friends about it, right? When was the last time you picked up the phone and called and bought something off of a television screen? If you liked your panels, what are you going to tell your friends and family about? So why we're doing it is if we take care of you, you'll give us recommendations to get us more clients. Okay. So what's some other things on what we're doing? Let's get a couple feet. Let's get a couple what you guys do. So what are we doing?
Helping the environment.
Okay, helping the environment. Absolutely.
Fixed payment.
Fixed payment. What else are we doing? Saving money.
Cozy at home, man.
Equity in the house. Okay, look at all these. This is all ammunition, guys. You are the gun. These are all your bullets. The more bullets you have, more likely you're going to win in a shootout. Customers have their bullets. What is a customer's bullet? Not interested. Objection, objection, objection.
No soliciting.
No soliciting. Boom. Gotcha. That's actually why I'm here, Mr. Customer. You heard what happened last Thursday, right? No? Oh my gosh. Right to it. So these are bullets. The good thing about them is bullets run out. The person with the most bullets at the end of the presentation wins. The person with the most bullets at the end of the presentation leaves with the checking account information. It's going to either be your checking account information or their checking account information. So you guys got to have bullets. Boom, boom, boom. These are a bullet. What are you doing? Redirection program, saving money. Boom. Why we're doing it. Okay. Why do we do it, guys? Fee of service. Someone asked you, are you commissioned? Yeah, I got a fee for my service. Commission's a nasty word. People are like, oh, you make commission. I don't want to deal with it. Yes, sir.
Helping with the mandates in California.
Yeah. The big one, guys. People want to know why you're doing this. Besides the money, the money's a given. Guys, do you know how much? Do you know what the electric car situation is?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, by 2030, they're not making gas cars in California anymore. Cars require energy to run. Where are they going to get that excess energy when right now the grid doesn't produce enough? But
Panels.
right, panels, solar farms. But let's pass a law to fucking make it harder for people to go solar, right? God damn, dude. People guys, just so you know that that's the most corrupt shit I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. Like pure corruption. Like we're witnessing like corruption happening right in front of our eyes. That's what you can do with money. You can buy anything. You buy politicians, you buy laws like that. It's ridiculous. So California mandates. Hey, we're here because right now the grid's 130 years old. And unfortunately, you cannot produce more electricity. They're not building any nuclear power plants anymore. And they're not building any new coal mines. And they're not opening up coal mines anymore. And they're not harvesting gas or opening up any of the new the gas thing that's in Texas. They're not drilling new places. In Alaska, you heard about that. There's a big oil reserve that can power the world forever. They're not digging into it. So the reason why we're here is because the only alternative to fuel solar. That's why we're here. You got to give them reasons besides money. What are some other reasons besides money? Like I just dropped a ton. What are some other reasons besides money that we're doing this?
Education, that's what you're doing, right? Educating the client.
True. That would fall under why we're doing it.
Global warming.
Okay, global warming, 100%. Okay, what are we doing else? We talked about it is we're solving an energy crisis. Are we not?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just guys, they can't see energy, so it's not real to them. Water, they can see it deplete. I went to Lake Powell this last summer. Lake Powell sells their water to California because of the drought. I've gone to Lake Powell for years because that's where Vivint would always do their charity trips. What I used to see up to the top of the mountains of water, it's like empty. So for me, that's real because I can see it. People can't see the electricity crisis. The only thing they can see is their power going out. So that's why it's not a huge issue for people. So you got to explain that to them. Okay. If they couldn't turn their power on, they'd be like, oh shoot, we're in trouble. There's some countries right now that they can only turn their power on during certain times of the day. It's nuts. We're very, very fortunate we turn a light on and electricity happens. Okay, one more. This is all bullets. Let's start thinking. One last thing why we're doing it.
Grid is super old, meaning it was created in 1916.
Mhm.
So the grid is very, very damaged right now. That's why we're.
Yeah, it was actually 130 years old. The grid first was invented, and you cannot fix the grid. You can only put Band-Aids on it. To fix the grid would cost trillions of dollars to dig up and replace all of those wires. And it would take people's electricity bills and they would turn into fund that, would take electricity bills and turn them into mortgage payments. And when that happens to a society, what do you think they do to the politicians in the government? Riots, revolution, throw them on the streets and kill them. So what do? There's no solution to the problem. Tax credits. When they want the citizens to do stuff, they reward them with tax credits. 30%. Cool. Let's get this more electricity produced.
The way it's strong arm giving.
It's exactly.
Seriously.
It is. So it's 100% a strong. Well, we got to get this thing to go. That's why real estate is such a tax write-off, because they need the citizens to build housing for people, so it doesn't become a huge situation like down on Skid Row, which, as you can see, it's not as effective as it should be. So, like I said, that's where we're coming into play. We got to solve these problems. Okay, so that's why they do the tax credit. So, next, introduction. Hey, so what we're doing, why we're doing it, what's in it for you? Here is where I'm going to give you some of the most valuable shit you will learn. And hopefully you learn this practice and use it for the rest of your life, because it's made me tons of money. And it's been a great resource that I've been able to teach people, and they've utilized it. What's in it for you, for the customer? By raise of hands, what's some things that are in it for the customer right now? And then I'm going to get to my point. Fixed payment. Fixed payment. Tax credit. What else?
Save money.
Relieve of stress.
Independent.
Ownership.
Control.
Okay. Any more?
Energy independence.
Yep. Ownership.
Okay.
Equity. Equity. Now, here's my point. Of this whole process, what are you most excited to talk to the customer about? And that you just light up when you're talking about it?
Me helping them save money.
Okay, and what's in it for them? What else?
Ownership.
Okay, and what's in it for them, right? Okay, here's where it gets fun, and this is how you turn it around. Okay, amateurs and good reps get excited about what's in it for them. The pros that are really, really good, they're emotionless and almost undermine what's in it for them. Because what did JC earlier say if you can't close solar?
Can't close the door.
Can't close a window. So if the sales are, if you're talking to a stranger all of a sudden about solar and they get all excited on all the cool shit that they're getting out of it, what does a normal client do in those situations?
Let me think about it.
Right.
Sounds too good to be true. If this sells itself, why are you getting excited about telling them what's in it for them? That's the difference. with me, when I'm presenting in the pros, not that you're not, you just didn't know this information, and there's a way of spinning it, is what's in it for them, that's almost underplayed. Underplaying what's in it for them as a matter of fact. Yeah, I mean, most people get solar because obviously it saves you a ton of money and, you know, you get a fixed rate and all that, but, you know, that's cool. So for me, they're like, wait, why is this guy not hyping this up? Why is he not excited? That sounds freaking great. But you're cool and you're just like, yeah, this is a matter of fact. That's what people are doing. Okay. And then when you tie it with step 5, that's where you really hook these guys. Okay. Step 5. And this is where people forget to talk about. Closing. What's in it for us? What's in it for us? You want to get a customer really to buy into what you're doing, tell them all the ways that we benefit. People are afraid to talk about it. So if you undermine the benefits of it and really start hyping it up on what they need to do for us to get them to earn this deal, it's going to be a lot more real to them. So if I said, hey, JC, got that nice G-Wagon out front, all yours, buddy, take it. Instantly, if I didn't know him, what would he say? Whoa, what the hell is going on here? What's the catch? Right? That's what people do. You go to strangers and say, here's the keys to financial freedom and independence. There you go, have fun. Right? And instinctively, well, this sounds too good to be true. I got to take out a loan for $50,000. I've got $1,000 in my checking account. I'm scared to death. This doesn't make sense. I don't want to do it. Okay. We've all been there. Instead, what's in it for us? I'm going to give you an example and then we're going to jam on this. JC, hey man, I'm going to give you this car. Okay. It's a G-Wagon. Don't need to sell it anymore. Does the talking for itself, right? Because I know the car's the shit, right? But the catch is, I want you to drive it around nonstop. It's going to have my decals on it. And it says buy solar right now with my phone number. And then on the roof is going to be a big solar panel display that says buy solar. And I want you to drive it around town every single day, honking the horn, all the neighborhoods, and advertising for it. That's the catch. Are you willing to do that for me if I gave you the car? Not JC personally, but you do that for a normal person. You know, he can get a couple of these himself, but I'm saying hypothetically, for a customer, they need to know why you're doing it for them. Because if you truly are giving them something for nothing and it's that good, red flags. That's why people need to think about it. That's why people say, hey, it sounds too good to be true. Let me talk to my neighbor. Let me crunch the numbers. Think about what? You're paying this every month anyway. There's nothing to think about. Thinking about paying your electricity bill. Do we need to call electricity company right now and cancel? You're going to hold off on this? Okay. Do we want me to also merge in Edison? Tell them you're going to hold off on those payments? What do you mean hold off? The reason why they do that is because you got to explain what we get out of it more. And then get them to sell you on why we should pick them. We need to make sure they know they're getting a good deal and what they need to do to earn that deal. So what do we get out as a company? Okay. One of my favorite lines is word of mouth advertising. I'm going to put my little sign out front. What's in it for us? Yeah, you'll save money, but that's not maybe I'll save you $100, $200 a month. It's not a ton, but the thing that we really need out of you, and if this is a deal breaker, then no deal, is I need you to put my little sign out front with my face on it and my phone number. The reason why that's important to us is because if we put that out there, guess how many people call up off that sign? I get 3 to 5 people calling up off that sign, and they're going to spend money with me and buy my services. So the sign's really, really important. So the thing is I could spend tons of money on marketing and advertising. So the reason, JC, I'm able to give you a better deal is because I don't spend a bunch of money on billboards and commercials. Okay, I'd rather pass the savings on to you because you know what the best commercials are? Word of mouth. So for me, notice my eye contact, notice how I'm like really toning in on him right now. The big thing is the reason why I don't want to spend money on that. When was the last time, JC, you called up off of a commercial and bought something? Never. Can't remember. So for me, my biggest thing is if I take care of you, you'll post my sign out front. And the other thing is now, do you have social media? Okay, thank God, because you didn't, unfortunately, deal's done. But I need you to go post on social media that you've been happy with my process after, of course, it's done and you've been happy. So if I'm willing to give you a good deal, are you going to do that for me?
Yes.
Because otherwise it makes no sense for me to give you a savings and I'll rather charge you full price and let you think about it. So the thing is, I really need to make sure you're on the same page with us. Because the thing is, I promise you, if you go for, if we do select you and you're a good fit for what I'm doing, I'll answer your phone calls and I'll hold your hand through this entire process. And then every Christmas, you'll call me up, invite me over for the Christmas dinner because you're saving so much money. But that's not the reason why people are doing it. Okay, that's the byproduct. For me, I need to get my return on my investment. Notice how I'm spinning this, guys, right? I need to get my return on my investment because I am going to put a lot of energy into you. And I want to make sure that you get me referrals. I don't want to keep knocking on people's doors. So JC, I know I just knocked on your door, but the thing is, I like doing business with referrals. And my best way to get my business is through referrals. And if I take care of you, I don't need to go out and knock doors right now. The reason why we're doing it is because of NEM 3.0, boom, 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 to get the ball rolling. Because unfortunately, I can't wait for your bill to go from $300 a month to $600 for you to call me. So I'm being proactive, knocking on your door now to get this done so that when everyone else's bill goes up to $600 a month, you're the guy who was smart enough to be proactive to get it done now rather than waiting until it was too late and the rates have all changed and you're screwed. So that's why so many people are biting the bullet now, is because they know if they get the good deal now, the neighbors will all want to get it when their bills double and triple. And that's where you come in, JC. I'm not going to be able to knock on their doors 24/7. That's why I need you to come in. So if you see somebody mentioning they need solar or any of that, I mean, well, I'll compensate you, dude. They're like $1,000 a referral. Like, no problem. I'll pay you for it. But I need you to go in there and start chatting it up and getting me some clients. That's the reason why it's so important for me. If I did pick you, you'll do that for me. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Guys, you saw what I just did? That's the whole difference. You start spinning it like that, that does make sense. Because everything that I said is a truth. But the problem is how you deliver it. Like, you deliver it like, please do this for me. When the only way I'm going to do this for you if you do that, which builds credibility in what you're doing. It shows you that you got balls enough to walk away from the deal because, guys, guess what? They're paying every month anyway. They need us. We don't need them. They're not under you're under the impression you can just get this whenever you want. You guys all know how interest rates work. Can a deal you quoted them 6 months ago still fly today?
No.
Mr. Customer, perfect example, build urgency is how much is your mortgage each month right now? JC, give me a hypothetical.
4,000.
$4,000 a month. And you bought that, what's your interest rate?
4%.
4%. So if you were to go buy your current house right now at 7-8% interest, do you know what your mortgage would be?
Probably 6,000.
9,000.
Wow.
So your payment would be double. And unfortunately, do you have an extra $5,000 a month sitting around to pay towards mortgage? No, not hypothetical, Jason. So I pick on JC because he can handle it. But so I'm saying hypothetical, guys, people couldn't even afford to live in their own homes if they financed them now. So that's why the same rate that was 6 months ago and the same rate that's today is not going to be the same rate 6 months from now. So that's why people don't need to think about it. They don't need to wait. They need to get it done now because they have no other option. They don't need to think about their electricity bill every month when the Edison sends them the bill. Done. So, signs. Billboards. Yeah, that right there, what you saw me do with JC, like that's actual word tracks that I push into the process. Emotion sells. If you guys felt it, I literally was pushing energy and emotion into JC to get him to switch his paradigm and get him out of his like rut of being comfortable enough to have enough pain to push into something new. So like energetically pushed him out of his little energetic pocket to go into a problem where he felt the pain, and the solution is what I'm about to give him. So he feels more comfortable with my solution than his other pain. It's neuro-linguistic program. It's like some deep level stuff. You guys got a taste of it. It takes years of practicing that, but I wanted to give you guys like a taste of it. Okay. So what's in it for us? Signs, billboards. What else is in it for us? This is not a muscle we use so much. We all know what's good for the customer, right? What's good for us? Referrals. Right. What else?
Pictures.
What?
Pictures.
Pictures? Yeah. Credibility. That builds credibility. Reputation, credibility, reputation. Mr. Customer, how many people are on your street right here? Play with me real quick.
12.
12. If 6 of them all got solar from me, what most likely are the other 6 going to get it from?
Somebody else eventually.
No, you.
Oh, I tried. You're fired. Get her out of here. So that's the thing. Paint that picture. So, Mr. Customer, if there's 6 people in this, if there's 10 people on the street, 5 of them all buy from me. What are the other 5 most likely to do? If they go outside every day, they drive past my sign. Who are they going to buy from?
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not talking about how much money they're saving. Guys, the savings in solar is the icing on top. You underplay it and let them get excited about it, not you. If you're selling on savings, you're missing the point of what we're doing. Like, I never sell on savings. That's just, oh, by the way, you save 50, 100 bucks a month. If you get in the habit of selling savings, when all the savings dries up and you go to a market where they're paying more for the bill, what are you going to say? Oh, sorry, fuck it. Oh, it's going to cost you 10 bucks more. I'm just going to tell you no myself. Bruh, no way. So, like I said, don't worry about selling savings. If you spin it this way, which is very true, you just are missing the points. Reputation, pictures, referrals, billboards, signs, buying in bulk. See, the thing is, Mr. Customer, if I'm able to get this whole neighborhood set up, that's one crew that could bust it all out in a week. So it saves me time on having multiple crews come in 3, 4, 6 months at a part. If I can get the whole neighborhood 150 panels, I can buy those panels in bulk and get the cost down cheaper and pass the savings on to you, rather than waiting for 6 months when panel costs are going up and it's going to be more expensive then, and you're going to pay double for the price that I'm doing you half off right now. Who's ever used that analogy? Very true. Of course, you're not actually buying those panels, but panel costs are going up. Everything's going up. So unload the clip. Have those different points that you're bringing up. What's in it for us? Stop telling what's in it for them. The shit sells itself. The thing that you need to sell is that the company gets more value out of it than the customer. And when you realize that, that's when the shit becomes fun. And then they're like, well, yeah, let me post on Facebook. Like, let me call my cousin really quick. Hold on, let's do this. And then you're sitting there, you're like, yeah. That's how you know you did it right. Okay. 6, name list. Very important. Name list. Name list is a list of previous customers that you've sold, that you carry with you, having their names, and addresses. Okay? If you don't have anybody all in the same area, just do all of your previous customers that you sold. Okay? The key is at the top, family served. You don't want to put solar on anything because you knock on the door and they peek out and they see solar. Oh, solar, not interested. Okay? Protect the brand. Bring up solar when you're ready to bring it up. So that's why with this, I put family served, their names, addresses, and I've circled 4 for now. But if you have 15, always leave 3 blank. Here's why. So as I go through what's in it for us, then I hand the name list. So, and these are all the people that we've done in your neighborhood. Who do you know on this list? So I hand them, most likely they're not going to know anybody, but I remember selling in Utah in a Mormon community, and they knew every single person, and I cleaned up shop. Everyone knew each other, and if they know someone on that list, guys, go to town. Okay, so you leave 3 blank. So the catch is, hey, we've done a few people in the neighborhood. We've done 4. We're allowed to do 7. We have 3 more left today. If you qualify for the program and you can do this stuff for us, we'll be able to put you at number 5. Visualization, vocalization of what I'm doing. The name list, 4, hand it to them. We've done 4. We're allowed to do 7. We have 3 more left today. Today, before the sun goes down. If you're one of them, I can get you on this, but you got to promise me you're going to do what I told you. Right? You're not begging, you're telling them. Okay? People want something for nothing. So hand that out. If you have 15 customers, how many spots are you going to fill?
4.
12.
If you have 15 customers you've sold so far, how many total? 3 more. Okay, so whatever it is, 3 more. You say, I've done 15. I'm allowed to do 18. I've got 3 more left today. Today. Urgency before the sun goes down. Guess what? Tomorrow, hey, I got 3 more tomorrow. And then after that, when you're getting good, you're selling 2 or 3 a day, guys. The shit sells itself. Okay? You guys all have the right tools. You just haven't been using them correctly. Good news is all of you guys know what I've taught you today. You just haven't been using it appropriately. You have the knives, you have the guns, you just haven't been using them to their effectiveness. So if you switch it and start utilizing it in this format, take off. Okay? That makes sense. Any questions on the name list? Okay, and this is the last one that scares beginners, but once you do it, you'll start seeing. Pull back. Take the deal away. After I go through that whole process, hey JC, so if I did this for you, you wouldn't have a problem driving the car, right?
Right.
Okay, now give me an objection. I'm going to show you a great way to do this. Now you guys got to practice this and do it in a tactful way or you'll piss people off. Okay? So everything I've said, does that sound good? Give me an objection about the car. I'm going to do this in car so you guys can have a mental picture.
So give you objection about the car.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's got the solar panel on the top, man. You know, that's.
Hey, I totally get it. And if that's a deal killer for you, no problem. Because this car is a G-Wagon. It's not just a old rink-a-dink car. It's brand new. If you can't do that for me, I totally understand. No problem. I know one of your neighbors would be happy to take the deal. But thank you. But like I was saying, so don't be afraid, guys. You know you have the keys to the car. It's up to them to sell you on why they should have it. So pullbacks, takeaways. All right, now let's do one for solar. Someone give me an objection for solar.
I don't want to cook that tit on my credit.
Hey, I understand that. And the thing is our company too, we're taking a lot of debt because when you put this and you're only having to pay monthly, who do you think holds on to that debt? We do. So if you're not 100% sold on this, we might have to find somebody else because guess what? We're holding all that debt too as well because we have to pay for the installations, we have to pay for these panels, and all of a sudden you stop paying for it, who's responsible for that? And then the company looks at who? And I got a family that I look after. And if I pick the wrong customer for this and they screw over the company, guess who's in trouble? You seem like a nice person, JC, but if you're not all in on this and if this doesn't make sense, then no harm, no foul. This just isn't a good program for you. Now, can you see why name list number 3 went forward with it? Mr. Johnson, the big reason why he went into debt was because he realized that although there's no debt on his books for Edison, he realized that debt is an obligation to pay something. Quick question, JC, are you obligated to pay a utility bill every single month?
Not obligated, but if there's bad repercussions if I don't, so.
Got it. So there's no getting out of paying your electricity bill, correct? So Mr. Johnson said the exact same thing. And for him, he realized that he couldn't cancel his electricity bill. He's stuck paying for it for the rest of his life. And he has no other options.
Right.
He felt that this option, taking emotion out of it, it makes more sense. The biggest thing that he said that you might agree with it is when it comes down to this point, people overcomplicate solar. All you're doing is just redirecting a payment from a liability to an asset. And the cool part is, once you're done paying this thing off, you have no more payments. So see that? I did a hard takeaway. I told a story, looped it back in. Advanced level shit, fellas. So who did I lose? That makes sense? You guys follow me on here? You guys are all doing this. You all do it. You all have these tools. It's just putting them and using them in the right order. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. It's just using them in the correct flow. Okay? I need to think about it.
What is it that you need to think about?
Okay, great. So he threw a question right back at me. First way to overcome that is agree. Absolutely, I understand. Obviously, in a situation, you need to think about it, but understand our company hasn't selected you yet. Because the thing is, we need to think about if we're going to spend all this money on your property, pay the construction workers, go to the city, file the permits, hire the electricians, do the electrical work, we need to make sure you're all in on this too as well. So if we are going to go forward with it, we want to make sure you're 100% bought in on this. So where about the part of this process that you're paying less for your current bill do you need to think about? Got it. And that's the big thing is people overcomplicate this. They know that it's eventually going to have to happen, either when their electricity bill doubles and triples and you get squeezed out, or you're proactive and get it done before that happens. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. And I know this might be a scary situation going into debt to get this thing done, but realizing you're already in debt. What was the main reason why you bought your house?
So I could own it and have control over my payments.
Got it. Well, why'd you go into debt for it?
Because rent, we don't have any control on rent, so.
Got it. Quick question. Are those your cars out front?
Yep.
Okay. Do you own those or do you rent those?
I own them.
Okay. Why'd you buy them instead of renting? Got it. Is there debt on those?
Yep.
Okay. Why'd you go into debt for cars? Got it. I know, but I'm not being an asshole about it, guys. Notice how I bring it up. And then if you really want to be an asshole, hey, do you own these TVs or you rent them? You didn't go to the Rent-A-Center and ball out, did you? Right? So that's the thing. Start asking questions. What was the reason why you bought your home? Why'd you go into debt for it? Your cars. Why'd you go to debt for it? Yeah. Then let me ask you this: how long ago did you move in here?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, if you would have moved in and you sat with Edison, where they were going to sell you on rental, and you were going to sit with the solar guy that was going to sell you on owning your electricity, which of the two would you have went with?
Owning my power.
Exactly. Why are you continuing to rent it? The main reason why Mr. Johnson went forward with us is because if he knew he had the option to own his power when he moved in, he'd have gone forward with it. He just didn't know, and he thought solar was going to cost him $50,000 to $100,000 out of pocket, and he didn't have that kind of money hanging around. So the big reason why he went forward with us is because we made it make sense. Nothing out of pocket. You're paying the same payment every month. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nothing to think about. So agree with them. Pull back. Tell a story of the neighbor. Ask a question. Okay? Next level stuff. What is another pullback?
So with objections, you like agree with that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because their perception is their reality.
There's changing it.
What color are those blinds?
Why?
They're blue. To me, they're blue. Am I wrong? Are you gonna make me wrong? In my reality, that's what I see.
Yep.
And if you make me wrong, yeah, and that's a beautiful shade of blue. So like I was saying, are customers always right?
Yeah.
Not all the time,
But you have to agree with it.
but you agree with it because they're right then. You meet them where they're at and you bring them to where they need to be. Okay?
I want to shop.
Hey, absolutely. I don't blame you. And that's the best part about my job is people are buying solar panels. I have the option of buying any type of it. Companies are just construction that comes in, installs it, puts it on your roof. Thing is, at the end of the day, the qualifications to be an installation guy is across the industry. You're going to get the same amount of service from any single person because unfortunately, a lot of people just use subs. It's all the same stuff. Sorry to break it to you guys. Most of these installers sub between each other. The same crews are installing for 10, 20 different. Okay. So the thing is, for you, I know you want to shop around a little bit, but are you just concerned that you are getting a price point that's a little too high for you? So isolating the objection and then diving into it. Okay. So I would say, yeah, I know obviously you want to shop around. My job's super simple. I don't care what panel that you want to go with. Is your concern that you're paying too much or you're paying too little or you want to have different types of quality panels? I'm just going to feed it out of it. Okay. I typically don't get that too much when I'm in the process. But the reason why I say that is because I tell them I'm a broker. We all have the options of picking which install companies to utilize, okay? Because the platform allows you to do that. So we don't care who installs it. They're buying from us. So the thing is you just isolate it that way and figure it out. When you build enough value and you start doing it this way, people don't want to shop around. You get them hooked, okay? Because we don't care what they buy. This isn't like a car dealership. I'm not selling Hondas. And you can go across the street and find a Toyota. It's all the same shit. If you don't believe me, go ask a customer what type of panels they put on there and what company installed them. No clue. So they're buying you in the process that you're getting them through. When you go through this process, a lot of these objections are going to disappear. Which one?
What you just said.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was
The same objection. My uncle works for Sunrun. Let me check those figures.
Got it. If your uncle works for Sunrun, what's the reason why you haven't gotten it yet?
I don't know.
He didn't tell you. He didn't tell you. He doesn't like you. Wow. Well, you seem like a nice guy. I like you. I mean, especially knowing that you live in California and he didn't tell you to get this before NEM. What did you do to him? Yeah. So that's the thing, Mr. Customer. If he really cared about you and was bent set that solar's the best option, you'd have already gotten it by now. But since it's not done, I'll take it from here. So yeah, bring it up. You don't be afraid to be ballsy, guys. If he really was bent set on his job, a lot of times, like, bro, it's like a technician or customer service. They're not sales reps, so don't fall into that.
I think I might sell my home in 2 years.
Cool. Do you think the next person that's going to move in is going to buy electricity? Okay, cool. All right, let me show you what the big deal is in this situation.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, so you're just, and in the next 2 years, are you going to pay electricity? Yeah. Why not? And when you go to sell your home, do you think it's going to be harder or easier to sell if they don't have an electricity bill that goes up every month? Exactly. Easy. And it's the confidence. When these customers throw shit at you and you can hit them back like, like, I know this is coming. Oh, you're not a shit. I know, motherfucker. Bam. I got you. Yeah, but customers will shit test you, and if you hit them back, they're like, "Oh, this ain't the Kirby vacuum guy. This guy's legit." And then they stop with the bullshit. They stop with the smoke screens. And then you like get in their face and you start laughing about it. I'm like, I get taller, I get my posture a little bigger. I wear insoles in my shoes when I knock, so I'm like 6'4" when I'm knocking at the door. Big, you know. looking good, got the teeth fixed, like white, like, man, they're like, all right, this guy knows his shit. I can't give him this stupid. Oh, let me think about it. Like, oh, do you have a business card? Yeah, absolutely. Keep diving into it. Like, what? Oh, shit. So you start having that demeanor, people start taking you serious and they stop giving you shit. That's why it's important to dress sharp. I dress like their boss. Subconscious. Look how I dress, right? That's how I would knock. Pants, tucked in pants. I'm in shape. Okay, I got my belt buckle right here, super clean, not a lot of jewelry. That's it, very clean and organized. I come off like their boss. Okay, I normally have a haircut, but I've been working, so I haven't got it done, so I'm always looking good. I'll wear a baseball cap, so these little things all come into play. Because if they see you're a professional and you act professional, they're not going to give you unprofessional responses. You condition them to treat you a certain way by the way you present yourself and the way you look. If you're dialed in your presentation, you know this like the back of your hand, they're going to start stepping up and treating this more serious and make a decision at the end of your presentation rather than just blowing you off. It's a lot that goes into it, guys. So you guys have got a lot of nugs today. What other pullbacks? Oh, you had a question, sorry.
Yeah, I've thought about solar, but my neighbor told me he'd get this large bill at the end of the year. So I don't know if I don't want to do that.
Got it.
100%.
Do you know which program he bought solar through?
I have no idea.
Got it, because there's 5 of them. Do you know which one he chose?
Nope.
Got it. Okay, because here's the thing, Mr. Customer. Unfortunately, some people can only sell one program. But there's 5 ways you can go solar, and if you pick the wrong one, you might have a situation like that. My job is I'm unbiased. I can sell you whatever you want and whatever is best interest for you. But the thing you got to understand is, once those panels go up, they produce a certain amount of electricity. If you go buy a bunch of Teslas and hot tubs, understand that those panels can only produce a certain amount. So if you double usage and your panels only have a certain amount of production, what's going to happen? So that's why I'm very clear with my clients. I'd rather have this conversation with you now while it's hard, rather than tell you everything you want to hear, and then 2 years later, you got a big bill at the end of the year. That's why people like working with me, because I let them know the bad stuff now, so it's only good stuff in the future. And if it's unfortunate, I'm not going to tell you stuff you want to hear. And I'll say this, guys, to really underplay what I'm doing is, hey, I'm going to tell you all the good, the bad, and the ugly right now so that you know what you're getting into. There's some things you got to be careful with. You can't go stick your tongue on the inverter. It'll kill you. Last sales rep didn't tell that guy that, right? Don't pee on your MPU. Okay, don't do it. So little things like that, jokes, tie it into. So that's what I'm saying. So guys, remember the steps. In your mind, when you're working, you already know the flow. You have the bullets. Now all you have to do is continue with the same enthusiasm from door to door to door after rejection. No one can tell you no, especially in this industry. Okay, if they reject your offer, what's coming out of their account next month? Election bill. They reject you. They're already paying for it. They're stuck. The only person that can have a negative connotation to getting a total no in this line of work is yourself. You don't have to believe into it. Okay, your job is every single door that you get to, if you get rejected, there's somewhere on there that you messed up. And it's your job to psychoanalyze where you messed up in your presentation and what you could have done better and fix it and improve on every single one. It takes about 13 doors to dial it in, and then you can start hammering these things out left and right. Once you have all these points memorized, you're going to take 13. It's literally like a gold, it's like a big gold chunk, and 13 doors to pound it into a gun. Boom, 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 boom. After 13, you got your gun. All right, now just deal, 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 deal. I remember after 13 doors, that was my number. After 13 doors, 13 customers that I went through my process. All right, it's game time. I'm warmed up. Customers are going to start buying, and every one you talk to, you start selling. And then when you don't sell is when they feel great. So, introduction, what you're doing, why you're doing it, what's in it for you, what's in it for them, you or them, what's in it for us, name list, takeaway, repeat, and then you repeat the cycle. The last, which is 8, is repeat. repeat. Repeat it. Okay? Repeat that cycle. Over and over and over again. Who's ever been at the closing table and the customer's like, all right, how much money do I got to put down? Like, bruh, nothing. So the process, repeat, repetition is key. I'll go through this 2 or 3 times. The way to know when to transition into the home is if the customer goes, hey, all right, so what do I got to do to qualify? All right, where are we going to put the panels? Well, I have an old electrical work. Well, my roof is messed up. Boom, buying sign, buying sign, buying sign. Gotcha. So what are the big things we took away? What are the key nuggets that I do differently that everyone else does when in terms of what's in it for the customer?
You do it for both of them.
Okay, so for the customer and the company,
You undermine it.
undermine it.
They can give and take away.
Exactly. The big thing on this specifically is I don't get excited about them saving money. Is, yeah, everyone saves money. Yeah, 100, 200 bucks is not a lot, but hey, it helps. What the hell are you talking about? Your bill's $1,000 a month. I cut it down to 400. Yeah, it'll save you 600 bucks. It's not a ton, but it helps, right? It's not a ton, but it helps, right?
Get them buy in.
Let them get excited. You're not buying it. You already sold. Get them to buy it. It's all in how you deliver it. That's the difference. Undermine what's in it for the customer. Emphasize. Undermine and emphasize. I just came up with that. I got to remember that. Undermine 4, emphasize 5. Spend more time telling the customer what they got to do to get our good deal than what's in it for us, or than what's in it for them. Solar sells itself. This is the sell you need to make. You need to sell them on getting you more referrals. One of my good friends, Ben Mack, stopped knocking doors in 2017, and he sells 100 solar deals now off referrals a year, 100, 120. And he's done it because he sells them on this method. Getting referrals. You don't want to knock the rest of your life, but if you structure your business the right way, you won't have to. And if you do it this way and really get them to put in that effort, you can do it. Name list. Another great habit or technique for nameless is having photos or selfies with your clients or having video testimonies. Here's a great one that I did. This is one of my favorite testimonies. I went to a city and stayed there for a month and just wreaked havoc. And I found a guy that I didn't sell, but he was willing to give me a testimony on solar. He got it 2 years earlier. So I'm going to show you this right now. Think about it. All right, so I'm here right now. Why don't you introduce yourself, sir? Marcel Hale. Mr. Hale, what do you got in your house right now?
I've got 30 solar panels on my house.
Man, so what was the main reason why you got those panels?
Because of the expense, because I couldn't have a AC unit in Toronto because my bill would have been probably $700 a month. And now I don't pay any electric bill, plus I've already got $350 credit built up in the grid, and I'll probably have $700 by the end of the year.
Wow. So you're going to have a credit of $700 at the end of the year. No bill to Edison. Nothing. So would you say on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy were you getting the panels put on the roof?
20.
On the door, then at the closing table. You're on Zoom, play those videos, guys. You think that guy was a paid actor?
Yeah.
The real ass people, man. So that's what I'm saying. You start doing those videos off your name list. Oh my God. People love it. So notice the big objection that I was getting in that town was people were thinking it cost them $50,000 to $100,000 down. And they would still have a bill to Edison. So I was like, okay, so I'm explaining it, but people still don't understand it. So what can I do to have another person emphasize that point that that's not how it works? Okay, my next customer that has solar, I'm going to ask him on camera, how much money did he put down? And ask him how much is his bill to the utility company every month. So then I recorded that. And then the next door that said, well, I don't want to pay 2 bills. What do you think I did? Listen, RZL, hell. Right? Guys, it's next level shit. You got to think differently. You got to be creative. There's a lot of door knockers, but a lot of shitty door knockers. They've never talked to you. They've never seen this before. Because if they have, they'd have bought solar. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. You got to be more polished. A lot of people don't know what the hell they're doing. You follow these steps, you guys will be golden. So let's open up for some Q&As. Show of hands helpful?
Yep.
Okay.
You're amazing.
Jan, couple Q&As. What part of the process? You got the flow down. This works only if you work.
How do you tie this with your slicks?
So I didn't bring any today, guys. That was part of the error that I was dealing with this morning. I have my big event next weekend and I was supposed to have slicks already done. They weren't finished and I delegated to my team and they didn't have it handled. So I was, you notice my throat's kind of raspy. You can imagine what I was doing for this call. So the introduction and then explaining what we're doing, I show them that there's the grid, okay? And the grid shows them that that's how they're currently doing it. And then I explain why we're doing it because of all the fees, okay? And so what's in it for them, then the marketing, all that. So the slicks really, really help out with that. And so that's really gonna help us out utilizing it at the beginning because the slicks, you hand something to the clients, that's going to break their preoccupation more. And then documentation beats conversation. So when I'm handing them stuff, showing them of slicks of the solar panel and the grid, do they think I'm trying to scope their house out and rob them? Or they're like, oh, dude, okay, this guy's got a whole thing going on. He must be legit. People are thinking that. Hey, what the hell is this guy doing in my house? Is he scoping it out? He's trying to rob me? Happens, guys. I've had guns pulled out on me. Yeah. Dude, multiple times. Shotguns. I'm like, whoa, shit. You know, you must have me confused with somebody else. You just brandished a weapon. My dad's the biggest lawyer in New York. He's going to sue your ass. I'm calling the cops. Well, I don't have a dad in New York. You know, I play up the rich little white boy card up. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm calling my dad right now, sir. I definitely recommend you put that shit away. So, you know, because I know what I'm doing is legit. And so I played that card, called the cops. Dude, it was in Bakersfield. And I called the cops like, yeah, this guy pulled a pistol out on me, pointed it right at me, brandished a weapon. I'm pressing charges. He's still inside the house. I can hear him yelling. So 2 cops come in. It's a cul-de-sac, right? Cops come in, 2 of them, cul-de-sacs here. They block it off. The guy comes out with body armor and a machine gun. No! Straight up, yeah. I told my dad's a lawyer, so they ain't playing, right? And so they come out on the loudspeaker, come out with your hands up. You just brandished a weapon. Very serious charge because with their solicitation permits, I had it. I gave my permit number, gave my license with the state, HIS license. So he comes out with a gun. The 2 cops are like, come out. And the guy comes out with his wife and his baby in his arm. And he was like, oh, I was afraid. I was afraid he was trying to rob me. I'm like, that's right, sucker. So I was like, dude, that's what you get. And they're like, would you like to press charges? And I was like, tell him if he doesn't apologize right now, I'm going to press charge against him. And so he went over to the guy and said, hey, look, he wants you to apologize for pulling the gun out. And then he came over to me like a dog between his legs, apologized to me. I'm like, that's right. So yeah, I had the courage, man. I know what I was doing was legit, so it didn't faze me.
Did you sign him up for solar?
When you're good enough, you can choose who you want to do business with.
Yep.
And anyone that comes at somebody that's a stranger like that, he can kiss my ass. Have fun with Edison. I'll let Edison have you. You can enjoy those services.
You mentioned solicitation. Tell me more about that. You mentioned a solicitation license.
Yeah,
I know certain
sometimes
areas are a little
in the
tricky.
country there is. California, you'll never really have that big of an issue. Like, sometimes people want you to go get a permit, but like it's hard. In my 15, 16 years knocking, like I've only had one time someone call the cops on me And it's like not that big of a deal. And the cops are like, yeah, just don't bug that person. They don't care. Like places in Texas and different cities like South Carolina, North Carolina, they're very strict on that shit. So as long as you have a state HIS license, you'll be good. Just show them that. Cops don't care. They're busy dealing. Do you know how much crime happens in LA? Like, bro, they don't care about, goofy little solar guys walking around. State HIS license. Yeah. JC, make sure everybody gets those. The state is crushing people right now. HIS license, fines, felonies. You're using someone else's HIS license. They're putting people in jail. Like they're cracking down on solar guys. Yeah, bad. So yeah, get that license. Like if you do live scans, it's like $100. So
Just so you know, I'm a live scan operator.
yeah, dude, that guy right there. Look.
That's it. There you go.
So like.
I'll come here.
He goes to your house.
Hey, Danny, can you tell us about your event coming up in March?
Yeah, of course. So this is the license. So like if you're ever in trouble, just have this. You guys should all have that. Like builds credibility. So I'm sure you do. Just carry that with you when you're working. So if anyone's ever like questioning you, like pull that out and then put it next to your name badge and then just hold that out right in their face. And then I would even like in neighborhoods that are like a little higher income, people are extra skeptical. I'd print my name on my shirt and then I would put badge, name, and my license right here. And then I would show selfies of like customers and myself right off the bat. Like that's more advanced stuff, but that stuff I would do to get them to calm down. Because in some rich, like super nice areas, people are just jerks about that stuff. So you got to be ready. So by show of hands, how much money do you think you can make just off this information I gave you within an hour?
Minimum $5.
How much do you make per solar deal?
7,000.
2 to 7 grand on average, right? Based on this information, over 1 hour, do you think you could make $7,000 return on?
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, jeez Louise. I'm gonna hang these up so you guys can write it down. Oh, sorry. Oh, now I'm gonna not So I'm gonna put this just so you guys have this here. And I'm gonna give you guys a little chart to help break this down to the ridiculous for you. This flow has made me a ton of money over the years. Not theory, this is from trial and tested techniques. So, like I said, I make a ton of money selling, and it just got boring after a while. Not boring, but it just didn't feel fulfilling as much as it used to. And so, like, it's 16 years, guys, you got to find new things to get you thrills and stuff in life. And so, it's like, bro, at the end of the day, when you're dead on your deathbed, and you're surrounded by a bunch of nice cars and money, and it's like kind of sad that you didn't like make an impact on the planet. It doesn't feel good. So for me, I had a change, and I was like, dude, I want to do something more with my life. And I'm like, all right, I want to do some consulting. So the last 2 years, I've been running a consulting agency. It's been really good seeing these trainings. Hopefully, you guys can tell I know what I'm talking about. So I like doing these events, and so these events, basically, I'm doing a tour across the United States, LA, Phoenix, Dallas, Orlando, Salt Lake City, and Utah. It's a 2-day workshop. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hand you a workbook, and for 2 days, we're gonna go through this workshop on exactly what you need to have the right vision, mindset, and technique. I'm gonna take 16 years of experience, put on a workshop, and you're gonna go through it, and you're gonna go each question at a time, answer it, and I'm gonna walk you through what it takes to be truly successful at this job. Okay, and so it's a 2-day event. It's gonna be March 4th and 5th. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys basically how to go through the entire process. And then I'm going to take a break during those times, and I'm going to bring out the #1 closer and the #1 setter in California, and they're going to teach you what they did. Okay. Who wants to take a guess? Who's the most #1 closer in California? Who closed the most deals? Take a guess. Throw some numbers.
How many?
Take a guess. Yeah. How many total? 200. I heard 200. What else? 800. I heard. 300. Okay. What else? I heard 200, 300,
700.
350,
700.
1,000.
266.
JC Ring.
575 deals sold last year.
Personally, not the team.
Here. in the Inland Empire. So he personally sold 575 deals. So I'm going to show you what I do. He's going to come in for an hour and break down his process on how to do that. Then I'm going to get the number one setter who sold set appointments, and a closer came in and closed for him, a couple hundred sets. So you're going to get an hour from the top closer and the top setter. So you probably wanted, okay, what's the cost on this? I've made it very, very affordable because I want people to get involved with this. $300, $800 for VIP, and then $2K for executive. So I made it very easy entry to get in. Who thinks just today alone they've got $300 worth of value?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I hope so. If you didn't, then you weren't paying attention. So basically, those are the costs for the tickets there. You're going to get 2-day workbook where basically when you're done, you're going to have a full workbook showing you everything that we went over. And you guys are going to be freaking literally ready to go out and take over the world. Because what ends up happening is so many people depend on savings to sell. I'm going to teach you the opposite. I'm going to give you the skill sets because there's only so much I can do in a short amount of time. That's why we do these workshops. And it's literally the most intense training solar specific that's ever been done. I've had 2 people working on the booklet. It's been a huge process. It cost me a shit ton of money, but like it's going to be totally worth it. And I'm excited because if I can help you guys make more money, then you'll buy some other stuff for me in the future. So with that being said, anybody that buys the ticket today, I'm going to throw them a new sales slicks. So if you're wondering how to engage, or JC talked about, I just built brand new sales slicks, and I'll be able to get you those guys as soon as you order it. You can put it in a screenshot. So let me give you the link for the tickets. And I'm telling you guys, it's worth taking time off to get this done. And it's going to be not this weekend, next weekend. 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And this ain't like a feel-good motivational hoorah, like we're going to be here to work. So I need you guys, if you're coming, to pay attention, pens and papers ready to go. This is going to be a lot of stuff. You just had an hour of it. Imagine 2 days. Okay. So if you guys go to setterclosertickets.com. Yep. Setterclosertickets.com. You can see. Also, setter closer tickets. And next week, when you're at the event, is it coming up?
No, it says, is it popping up right away?
Setter closer tickets plural.
Yeah.
.com.
More error pops up.
Okay. JC, let me text you the right one. This thing sucks. So. All right, so then go to, I'm gonna text JC the copy of the link. I'm gonna send to JC. JC, if you put it in the chat. So it's I think it's setterclosertickets.com/home. Now I'm gonna talk to my web people about that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
/home.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right there, anybody that buys tickets, I sell slicks for $100. So I'll give you a set of brand new slicks, and they've got a custom printing of NEM 3.0, all the pros and cons. So when you go to break the preoccupation with the customer, you can show them the NEM 3.0. And on the other side is there's a news article from KTLA talking about the rates increasing here in Southern California. So all of these slicks, if you're selling physically in person or virtual, you're gonna have everything you need to close more deals, and I'll give you a free set next week. If you show up with a screenshot, tell them you're part of the JC crew, and I got you. So with that being said, let's jam for a couple questions. I'm running low on time. But yeah, we covered a lot. I'm telling you guys, this is for $300. If you didn't, the income is super important. Let me give you one last little breakdown. So this is a metric that you can use to see how much you need to spend every year on personal education. Who knows a golden rule of what to invest into yourself every single year in your education? 10%, right? So if you're trying to make $200,000 a year in solar, how much do you need to spend on your education? Okay, here's the problem. Does anyone have $20,000? I'm sure then you don't have to say anything, but you know, because we're all here working, but do people typically have that kind of money to invest in their education hanging around? No. I know I didn't when I first started. So thing is, people, if your family member was dying and it cost them $10,000 to save their life, would you figure out a way to come up?
Yeah.
You go up with a loan, you get credit card debt, all of that. But when it comes to your personal education and belief in yourself, why are you not willing to go into debt for the same exact thing? So that's why right now I've made it so freaking cheap to get people there, because it's basically advertising. I do it for free, guys, but I want people to be paying for it, because if you don't pay for it, you don't pay attention. Same thing, that's my pullback to get you guys to do it. If I gave you guys all free tickets, you'd show up, you wouldn't pay attention to it. So that way, if you truly wanted to master what I'm teaching you, you're going to pay for it, so you pay attention, you use it, and then you want to get your investment back. So that's part of the secret of teaching. If you don't put skin in the game, you don't have any pain, so that way you're not going to learn anything. So that's why I charge such a cheap rate, because I truly believe if I help you guys all get rich, you'll book me for more things like this, have you involved, helping your teams, all that stuff. So like I said, super affordable. The big sacrifice isn't the $300. It's the sacrifice of hanging out with your family, watching TV. Is it worth giving up a day on the couch to go and truly learn stuff? So the thing is JC's done a ton to help educate you guys, but it's not his job to do the work for you. You have to go out and get education. And the thing is, if you're trying to make 200 grand, you need to spend 20,000, homie, this is $300. You got to go spend more money somewhere else. Like, there's only a few things I could sell you. It ain't going to be 20,000 bucks. So you got to go continually get more education, going to more seminars, going to different events, following me on Instagram, seeing other stuff that I promote, getting a personal coach. You want one-on-one coaching? I've got coaches, like all that stuff, guys. You got to continually put money in yourself. And the reason why people don't do it is because they're afraid and they can't spend it. But if you knew you'd make your money back, you'd go and spend it all day. So that's my thing, guys. And like I said, you know, realizing how much money is on solar and how much you make, like, I don't care about the $300. The only reason I'm doing that is so you can pay attention. So, oh my God, my man here. Just give this guy a round of applause. He just grabbed the ticket. Yeah.
Question. For those people that door knock, right? We have, matter of fact, we have a lot of people that gonna go door knock right after this. From somebody who's a pro, you've seen thousands of people, door knockers, you've trained thousands of door knockers, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of success stories, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they don't come from that background, they have a misconception of what it really takes to be successful as far as time dedicated on the doors.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend somebody that's full-time, and what would you recommend somebody that's doing this part-time, you know, after their 9 to 5?
Yeah.
How many hours a week or day do you recommend that they hit the doors?
It's not about the hours, it's the consistency. So you can't just say 1 week you're going to do Wednesday at 3, the next week, Tuesday at 5. You have to schedule it every single week.
Assuming the consistency is there, right?
Okay, 6 hours. 6 hours is like the time that you need to do to make sure it counts. Daily.
Yes,
Correct.
love it.
So what would you consider the best hours to hit it?
1 to 9.
1 to 9, right?
Yeah. 6 hours is warm up. 8 hours is like a full day you've done right. And the thing is when you get good at this, it's not a lot of work. You're sitting at kitchen tables all day.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it right, you're not tired. The days go by so quick because you're at kitchen tables and they're feeding you, they're signing up. And then like you get seller's high. So you're not as hungry. You're super focused. So dude, it's fun. You have a question?
Right.
No.
Where's the event? It's in Pasadena?
Yeah, right. I think it's like in Downey actually. So it's just outside of Pasadena. When you sign up, they give you an email for the address. So
Okay.
it's somewhere, it's like 10 minutes. It's really
Oh,
close.
nice. And is this attached to like SolarCon? Is it in a different place or same place?
SolarCon's in Utah, but if you buy the upgraded version ticket, you get a free ticket to SolarCon, which
Okay.
is going to be April 20th.
And that's somewhere else. Got it.
Correct. That's in Utah. Yeah. Good question. What else? I dumped a lot on you guys. It's like drinking water from a fire hose. You just got a lot. So anything else?
Any questions, team?
Trying to get on the website, it's not working. I don't know if I'm.
setterclosertourtickets.com/home Yeah, I gotta talk to my web guy. That's embarrassing. That's not working. So. Yeah, or it's on my Instagram. You guys can click the link on my IG too as well. It's all on there. So. You got it? Dude, boom. Yeah, so that way I'm gonna teach you guys to set more, close more. No, this one's in LA. The SolarCon's in Utah.
I'm considering going to the Phoenix one, bro, because that's the weekend of the convention. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
A virtual convention.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of maybe going to one day because I'm speaking at the convention, so I'm trying to.
Yeah.
But I was just talking to my wife. We might just meet you at the Phoenix one the following weekend.
Phoenix is good too, man.
I need that training. I close 100 deals a year, right? 2 years in a row, over 100 deals a year. But we gotta continue to advance and improve. And as a leader, there's a lot of leadership here, right? A lot of you guys are leaders. As a leader, you gotta lead by example. You gotta get better. You know what I'm saying? Train your people. So to me, even though I do well, my main thing is a passive income, but I sell a lot of solar too, but these guys, I don't sell 500 deals a year, right? So obviously, those dudes that are doing that, and Danny, I need to learn from them. So, and you gotta invest in your business.
Yeah, that's the thing, guys, is it's a huge responsibility on JC, but it's not his job to get you guys better. He's gonna help, but it's your choice to take the information and apply it. So that's why the price point, if you paid $100,000 today to listen to this, everybody would be like, all right, I'm literally going to do everything I can because I spent my whole life inheritance to get this information and you'll utilize it. So that being said, guys, dude, great freaking job, man. I love jamming with you guys. This is like one of my favorite things to do. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my life's work. So this is stuff that I've spent my whole life curating, and I hope it's made a great fortune for me and my family. I hope you guys utilize the tools and make a great fortune too as well. So that being said, much love, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna call you right now. Thank you, brother. Let's give him a round of applause one more time, please. I'm gonna share the link. I'm gonna share the link on the Telegram group, okay, and on Facebook as well. Okay, so for those of you guys on our team and our Telegram group, a lot of people are there. We're gonna share it there. Somebody's passing out chocolate, so if you guys want a chocolate, they're passing them out. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys got some value from that. There's a couple things that are happening this Saturday. There's a Solar Edge training. Is it via Zoom?
Yeah, the code is, they have to text solar, SOLAR, to 41372, solar Edge training with Michelle. And she's gonna be providing some of the important.
Perfect. So you got to text the word solar to what number?
41372.
41372. You got to text the word solar to 41372.
If also, just take a second, please. I want to recognize Mr. Red Stafford. He just submitted his 50th contract.
Wow. Nice. 2 deals in 1 day. Oh, nice. Thank you, Vanessa. And Red just did his 50th deal. How long have you been in the company, Red? 15 months, 50 deals already. That's impressive. So, ladies and gentlemen, did you guys get value from this?
Yeah.
Who's gonna go hit the field today? I know that there's a lot of people committed to hit the field today. Here's the deal. You guys, I want you guys to partner up in the kitchen, and we're gonna put some of you guys together that need a partner with somebody else. You want to hit the field. One of the things I tell people, and I wanted to ask Danny that for that reason, and I told this to Jesse and I told this to Luis Cervantes the other day. I said, if you're dedicating, let's say, for example, you're full-time and you're new and you don't have a lot of business, you're not overwhelmed with leads and overwhelmed with business, 80% of your time should be spent prospecting. But too many people, even at a regular job, let's say not sales, right? Just, traditional job, they go to a job for 8 hours and there's studies that have been done. At an 8-hour job, the average person does 2 hours of actual work. This is a fact. There's even a saying that says, your employer will pay you just enough so you don't quit, and you will work just enough so you don't get fired. Isn't that the case with a lot of people? Sure, I know that's nobody here, right? But that certainly is the case. This is your own business. This isn't like, I'm not your boss. Power's not your boss. This is your own business. But there's a lot of people that tell me, JC, I want to be successful, and I want to be successful. Then I look at their efforts, and their efforts are not what the things that are going to lead to be successful. So that's why when I asked Danny how many hours, he said a magic number. How many hours did he say? 6 hours. That's right around 70–80% of the time prospecting. I'm going to leave you guys with this. I learned that, and when I went 5, 6, 7 hours daily, and Saturdays I was like 10 hours Saturdays. But I wasn't on. That's not the only time I was prospecting, because I was prospecting from the morning. So I was really prospecting 8 hours a day when I started with Power, because I was calling, I was on social media, then I went to hit the field after like 2 o'clock, right? But here's one thing I'll tell you. When I was 18 years old, I got started my first job, my first official sales job was at 18 years old. We used to knock from 12 to 8, take a lunch break for 30 minutes at 3 p.m. From 12 to 8, Monday through Friday, 12 to 8, we used to knock. Then we used to go on Saturdays from 12 to 6. And that's when I learned door knocking, right? We made $10 per sale. The goal was to make 10 sales per day. We used to sell like pizza coupons and stuff, and Dodger tickets, buy one, get one free, stuff like that, right? Anybody ever bought those?
Yeah.
I used to sell those. We used to make $10 on every one. We could go out there. There's people, matter of fact, my brother last week, he went door knocking with some people on his team. He got a lead that same day, closed the deal the same day. What did you guys make on that deal? $5,800. Had he not gone door knocking that day, he wouldn't have met that person. He would have been $5,800 less short. That is a potential when you master this. But here's the thing. Some people are going to get excited because they see this, but you're going to be inconsistent. You're never going to get good being inconsistent. That's why we're providing this. We have this training where we pay for this training where we get people like Danny to come out and do trainings. You guys want to take advantage of that. So I recommend hit the field and have that mindset. Hey man, 80, if you're part-time, if you work 4 hours per day, here's one thing I'll tell you. How many hours does an average person work?
8 hours.
8 hours, 40 hours a week, right? Listen to what I'm gonna tell you closely. If you are willing to work 40 hours per week to make your boss's dreams come true, right? Because they're not your dreams, it's not your company, right? If you're willing to, how many employed millionaires do you know? Not a whole lot. People don't become millionaires by working for somebody else. People become millionaires by working for themselves, or at least having ownership in the company that they work in. And that's not the case for most people. So if you're willing to work 40 hours per week to make somebody else's dreams come true, why wouldn't you work half of that time to make your dreams come true? 9 to 5 on your business and 5 to 9 on your job. Excuse me. 9 to 5 on your job and 5 to 9 on your dreams, on your business. It's not that, and you don't have to do that forever. You don't have to do that forever. So he said there's not going to be a motivational talk. Well, if I'm in the room, there probably will be, right? But I want to drive this home because so many people are going to get left behind, right? And you can build nationwide. Guess what? When Net Metering 3.0 kicks in, we're going to have to get better at selling batteries. I already sell batteries. I don't sell them in every job. Matter of fact, I don't sell them on most jobs. Now I will sell them on all jobs with Edison. But guess what? LADWP, all of LADWP, they're not on Net Metering 3.0. That stays the same. What if you say, hey, man, I'm going to learn this skill and I'm going to go hit LADWP territory? You can write your own ticket. Every one of you. What's the date today? 22nd. By the 22nd of March, every one of you could have an extra $20,000 in your bank account if you want. Oh, excuse me. Let me take that back. Because you're not, that would mean that it got installed. But you could have earned an extra $20,000 minimum. Every single one of you, even if today's your first day, if you really wanted to, but a month from now, you could have an extra $20,000 that you earned that is on its way to you pending exactly. There's no exceptions. I've seen the most dud people to the most stud people. Sometimes you got somebody that's a stud. Oh, this guy's a big time realtor, man. I bet you he's going to do great. But then his ego stops him from being successful because he says, oh, man, I need something special, privileges because of this, that. And yet they're broke. I don't care what you did. Notice that when you came into this company, nobody asked you for a resume. I don't care about your doggone resume. That's probably a bunch of things that you failed at in the past. Right? Oh, this company fired me. I could have cut it over here at this company. I don't give a damn about your resume. When I came in here, I showed Jonathan Budd my PhD. Poor, hungry, and determined. I said, here's my PhD. I'm turning in my PhD for a MBA, a massive bank account, right? And that happened. You have a tremendous opportunity here, and I would recommend you guys take that information, plug it to all of the trainings, and be consistent, because most of it, let me tell you this, half of this room here, within 6 to 12 months, you're going to be gone. You will no longer be paying the $85 a month. You'll be gone doing whatever it is that you were doing before, or something else. God bless you, whatever your decision is. I hope it all turns well. Statistics show that half of this room, 6 to 12 months from now, you're gone. You know how many times since I got started, I had people come in, JC, watch my smoke. I'm going to go to the top with you. When I had no sales, I had people tell me, I'm going to go to the top with you. I'm going to do this. Then I got to 100 people on my team. Those people were gone. I'm at 1,400. You know how many people? 1,400 people in, 260 sales, working 4 days per week. What, Jessica, what time do I get in the office these days on average? If I come in? Yeah. 10. And what time do I leave on average? 2:30. That's my times. 4 days per week. Okay. I close 100 deals per year. My passive income is bigger than the 100 deals per year. Just to put things in perspective, for those of you guys that are pretty decent at math. But when I started, though, those were not my hours. When I started, I was working 6, sometimes 7 days per week. 8 hours was part-time, because I knew the opportunity at hand. There's a huge opportunity. The world is going solar with net metering here in a couple places in California and across the world. People are not going to stop going solar, guaranteed. People are going to get so rich. Then there's some people that I tell some people, listen, man, if you don't invest time in this business, you better invest in some hinges, because we're going to blow the doors off the hinges. We're going to go out there and crush it. And here's the deal. I tell even my brother, I told him, we're going to go and do this, because it took him 2 years to join me. How long ago did you join, Louis? Last May. How many deals have you sold now? Close to 35 deals. Give him a round of applause. But I'm going to tell you what I told him. Here's what because it took him 2 years to join me. I said, Louis, I'm going to do this with or without you. But I love you. I'd rather do it with you than without you. I'm going to do this with or without anybody. Whoever wants to roll, let's roll. You guys got the #1 team. Whether you're on my team or not, you guys can still plug into all of the trainings that are live, all of the trainings that are on Zoom. My training academy is available for everybody. Just plug in and give it a 5-year run. I guarantee you 5 years, because here's what happens. And I'm going to leave you with this in 2 minutes. I know that Danny says this sucks, but I can make it work. Check this out. Somebody record this part, please. There's a trick. I know that he did that. Should be all right. Here's the deal. 5 years to make life fair. How many of you guys heard me say that before? It takes 5 years to make life fair. Anybody ever felt life wasn't fair? I'm going to tell you right now, it takes 5 years to make life fair. 5 years. That's half a decade. So check this out. Let's say, for example, this is your life. 120 years old. That's what the Bible says you're supposed to live. 120 years old. I'm going to live to 120 years old, or I'm going to die trying. Some of y'all get that on the way home. Everybody's going to live to 120 years old or die trying. All right. I'm really going to try. So here's the deal. Most people look at life like this. Oh, 5 years. My God, they look from where they're at. 5 years. That seems far away. Let me put things into perspective. If this is 120 years, or let's just say 100 years, right? If this is all 100 years, where's 5 years? Can we agree that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? This is 5 years. Can we agree? That's 5 years. I'm not asking you for that long. I'm asking you for 5 years. If you put your head down and you master, you invest in yourself, you take 10% of your income and you invest in yourself and you get better. You already see the potential. There's a bunch of evidence. If you go out there and do that, 5 years, you can make life fair. You're not making enough money. Your family don't care about you. Your girlfriend left because you don't make enough money. Whatever the reason is, doesn't matter. In 5 years, you could change things around. You could go from zero to hero. You could go from being a disaster to being a master. You could go on absolutely crush it in 5 years. And a lot of you guys are doing it in a lot less than 5 years. The problem why most people are not going to do it is because they have too many damn starts and stops. They take a no and all of a sudden, because here's the deal. We live in a very soft society. People are very easily offended these days. Can we agree?
Yeah.
People are offended by their shadow these days. Right? Some dude said, thank you, sir. And he said that he's not a sir, but he had an Adam's apple this big. Like, no, you're a sir, bro. Okay? So weird world that we live in. But because life is so convenient, so easy, people have a weak mindset. Oh, so somebody told you no. A deal fell. A deal's taking a long time. Big deal. Keep going. That's the same thing that happens to me. It's going to happen to you. How come some people are making millions of dollars in the solar industry and with power, and some people are broke? Because some people have a different mindset and they're consistent, and some other people are just sitting around playing the victim game. Blame, complain, and justify. Pointing the finger at the company, pointing at the finger at the installer, pointing the finger at their mentor. They point the finger, there's 3 fingers pointing back at them. We are the reason why, we're the reason why not. So let's take 5 years to make life fair. Let's go hit the field. Have a good day.